3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome, history buffs. My name is Nick Hodges, and this was my idea for the intro for Sardonicast this week. Hi, everybody. This is Sardonicast. You guys know history buffs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great channel. I think I mentioned it on this podcast before, actually.
You did, yeah.
We have.
I'm Adam from Your Movie Sucks.
I'm Ralph from youtube.com/Ralph the Movie Maker.
And I'm Alex the Lion.
Go!
Oh no, I forgot. Wait a minute.
What?
What did you forget?
Is his name?
What did you forget?
What's the main character's name again?
Alex the Lion.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Yeah, I forgot about that. Well, let's not talk about that yet. Let's keep you all shrouded in mystery for a bit before we get on to that masterpiece. I guess...
Masterpieces.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch all three?
Well, we're not talking about this yet. I guess, yeah, we'll get into that for sure.
Why not?
Well, I mean, because it would be out of order in comparison to our other episodes if we just talked about that right away. So,
I feel
Don't
like we
worry.
should just make this whole episode about that.
I mean, there's only like a couple other things.
Yeah.
There's the new Disney Aladdin, which is
With Will
Sorry.
Smith. Yeah.
I had flashbacks to Will Smith.
yeah,
Will
PTSD.
Smith is the genie.
Can you believe how bad it looks? Like Will Smith
It
specifically.
looks horrendous.
I can
You think
I can
Disney
believe it for
would
sure.
make it look good?
I'm not
I don't
surprised
know.
in the slightest.
Disney usually does a good job with that stuff.
What,
like
character
the
design?
production
Because they haven't been
Yeah,
recently at
character
all.
design, CGI.
No, they don't.
What do you mean?
Look at Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
That is the worst character design I've ever seen.
True,
The
yeah.
Beast?
Beauty and
I
the
don't
Beast.
know. I haven't seen the movie.
You got look at
Not
the
just the
fucking
Beast,
trailer.
but like
Look
the
at what they
cutlery
did
and
to
stuff.
like the dresser and the teacup and
The
like
candlestick,
it's all
yeah.
so fucking ugly. It's so
It's 'cause they have to
disgusting.
make it
still,
realistic, don't they?
This
also,
new Will Smith genie looked like a Snapchat filter. It looked like when I do
Basically.
Zack Snyder.
Oh,
like
no.
when I just put the Snapchat filter on my face. That's what it looked like. It was horrendous.
Yeah, I don't think he. I don't know. It's strange to see him there because it's not like he's been a selling point for the past 6 years. I guess since 2013, when
No.
After Earth came out, his career just changed forever. Right?
Well, now he's a famous YouTuber.
Yeah.
Yeah. YouTube Rewind.
He's the community. This is our year to control. That's hot.
Thanks, Will.
Thanks for the memes.
And Jafar as well.
Thanks for ruining Aladdin.
Yeah, I don't even remember what Jafar looks like.
Wait, do you guys like the original Aladdin?
I do.
I like aspects to it for sure. I haven't seen it since I was a kid though, so I wouldn't be able to really tell you whether or not I like it.
Yeah. I haven't seen it for a while
There's
either.
songs that I still
Yeah.
remember for sure. I like the music.
Yeah. This whole project just seems like a terrible idea. Just like all the other ones have been. And it's interesting to me that it was this one that kind of caused the backlash. Before now, there hasn't really been any of a major proportion.
For whatever reason, people didn't really care too much about the awful character design in Beauty and the Beast. I mean, it was a criticism, but to me, the what they did to those characters, it would have made just as much sense to freak out about that when a trailer got released as it does to freak out about Will Smith being the genie. You know, like they're equally terrible and disgusting and bastardized.
I think people are getting sick of it.
When it comes to things like Jungle Book and the Lion King remake, I mean, they're just doing photorealism. They're just doing like, oh, it's just real animals, basically. So it's like, how do you screw that up character design wise? It's just, you just get an animation team to be like, what does a lion look like? And that's pretty much it. Like slightly bigger eyes or something. Like not even. Like they don't have facial expressions anymore. Like it's just, I consider the character design for what I saw in The Lion King to be pretty bad too. It's like, what's the point of animation anymore? What's the point when you don't have relatable facial expressions or the ability to see characters emote in any way? You know, what happened to that? There's a reason why animation exists.
Yeah, how are you supposed to connect with a real baboon? or a real lion.
Mhm.
It's too far.
Yeah.
It's taking the concept way too far.
Like, I wonder what Zazu's gonna look like. Like just a beak. He's not gonna be able to smile with that beak. It's just gonna be a beak. It's upsetting, and it is. I agree with you. Very strange that this is the one that finally made people go, "Wait a minute, this isn't good. This is bad."
But yeah, it doesn't mean anything though, because everyone's still hyped for Lion King and probably
I guess
Dumbo
it's
as
still
well,
gonna
and there are
make,
more.
it's still going to make billions of dollars.
Is
It's still
anybody
gonna do
hyped for
great.
Dumbo? Is there a trailer out for that?
Yeah, there are loads of
do
them.
okay.
I see them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dumbo's not one of the more popular ones. They're also making a Lady and the Tramp, and I
Oh,
believe
what?
they're putting that on their Disney streaming
Yeah, I
thing.
heard that too.
Like that's
Ah!
going straight there.
Oh my god.
Along with like a Star Wars show and like some Marvel shows are going to go on their streaming service.
Man. This
Yeah.
is so crazy.
And now they have Fox.
I know.
They have Fox, so they own a lot of that stuff. And doesn't Fox have a lot of Hulu?
I don't know. I don't
Don't they
know.
own
I
Yeah,
think
no idea.
Hulu?
I just
Don't really have Hulu.
assume if I see a company, I assume Disney owns it at this point. Somehow, like through one of its like subsidiaries. Like, yeah, that's
Pretty
probably
much.
owned by
I mean,
Disney.
they own most of the valuable property in Hollywood.
It's like I assume every
So-
restaurant is owned by like Coke or Pepsi. Partnership at least. Every drink.
Yeah.
You know, you look
Yeah.
at the back of the bottle, it's like, oh, Coca-Cola bottling company. What a surprise. I thought this was just some mom and pop drink. Nope.
Nah.
No.
No.
The mouse is taking over.
This is like the exaggerated warnings that we got throughout like the 60s up until now of just how
Yeah.
far things could go. This is almost like Holy Mountain-esque of just like,
Yeah, it's like Orwellian.
Yeah. exactly.
This
But,
one company's going to take over the entire industry.
Yeah. It's like in Wall-E where everything's owned by Costco. Except it's Disney,
Yeah.
which is funny because it's a Disney-owned film, and they were just talking about themselves.
Right.
I guess.
They couldn't say themselves, yeah, because
Yeah.
that'd be too much.
Yeah.
You gotta keep the Disney company looking good.
Will Smith, everybody. He's blue. He's back. Is he going to be blue the whole
Great.
movie? Or is he going to be like you
Well,
know
like
that
in
magazine
the original,
cover?
he would sort of transform, wouldn't he, into different people and creatures and stuff. So I wonder if they'll do that.
I'm just imagining how uncanny valley it will look when he starts like transforming into other things, if that's what's going to happen. Because like
Yeah.
the Robin Williams character was
Ugh.
so, I'm going to use this word intentionally, animated, you know?
Yeah,
like he was
that's what
so
I'm
animated
saying.
in what he did, constantly like, poof, I'm going to change into this, change into this. He talked really fast, you know, like the voice fit perfectly. This, I don't know what the hell they're going to do with it. That's not going to make it look really scary and creepy and weird.
And funny. Imagine
I
a
guess,
whole movie
yeah.
of that. Like, watching 5 seconds of it made me go, like, I was fucking disgusted.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's repulsive to look at.
They look at the backlash on the internet and they're like, let's rewrite the story. The genie's not going to be in as much of it as we wanted before.
Yeah, they might rework some of the visual effects. I mean, they still have time.
When's it supposed to come out?
Next,
Next
well,
week.
not next year. This year. Next week.
Yeah. I still
Probably
got
in the
time.
summer, right?
Yeah, it's
Disney,
coming
they
out
can do
tomorrow.
it. Yeah, I don't know. I guess if we don't really have much to say more about that, this is like
I mean, it's just so funny. It's just hilarious.
it's. I don't know if I can call it hilarious.
That's what I'll call it. I mean, you'll always
It
have
looks
those
hilarious.
old movies. Those are great movies. And
No,
now
I
Disney's like,
know.
fuck, we have nothing, so let's just remake them. And it's fucking Will Smith in a Snapchat filter. Come on. It's hilarious.
I'm not one to dwell on the whole like ruined my childhood thing because I don't really. I
Yeah.
agree with you. Like the old films still exist, so you can watch them at any time. However,
Right.
it does kind of upset me to see that this is where the money is. This is where the funding is. This is what Disney is choosing to throw money at, where, you know, there are tons of creative original artists that are desperate to get their projects off the ground that Disney is not interested in. And yeah, I get it. It's money making, whatever. But then you see these projects and you know, everybody in the world is thinking like, okay, man, how detached are these people from reality where they think that this character design is appealing to people? Like, yes, Beauty and the Beast made money. Emma Watson was in it. Like, she can get people to buy tickets. It was one of the first remakes too, so people really didn't know what it would be like. It was one of the first dark, gritty live action Disney remakes. And so people obviously gave it a chance and people are familiar with it. But like, there's so many instances where it's just like, okay, if I were in charge of this, it would be so much different. It's clearly not being made by people who are fans of the original, if this is what it is. It's clearly not being made out of any sort of like passion or any sort of interest in the original. Like when I did my Old Boy review, one of the points I kept bringing back is like, what movie did you watch? Like, what the hell is this? Like, it shares nothing with the original anymore. So if it's going to be so detached that you're no longer being faithful to it, then why make it a remake anyway? Oh yeah, money. That's it. And it's just like,
it's business-like, yeah.
Like it's factory movies.
That's
and
why
it
there's no
pisses me
passion
off.
behind it.
No passion at all. Like, I want to see art. This isn't art. This is bullshit. This is a product.
I mean, I don't know how you could be passionate about it. Disney says, make a live-action remake of Lion King. And just, we want the same exact movie, basically. And that's what it's going to be. It's going to be the same exact movie, probably shot for shot, except better rendered.
No, it'll have like 30 minutes of filler. That's what
and
they do,
worse
don't they?
music, probably.
Yeah, they cut out the Be Prepared song. So
Yeah.
they're likely
Instead
going
of
to
talented
replace
voice actors, you got John Oliver.
Oh no.
And fucking, who else?
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Like, come on. But James Earl Jones is still there.
Yeah,
He's
Jeremy
still there,
Irons
though.
is not there anymore for some reason.
Nah, the hell with him.
Yeah.
He's working with the DC crew. We don't like him anymore. With Disney.
But why didn't they just remake them in the Disney animated 3D style they've been doing for years with like Frozen and
I
Tangled?
would prefer that.
That makes so much more sense. I would prefer that, yeah. At least they could do some kind of new spin on it and it would look better.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, it's an insult
But
to
it's
the
still
original.
going to make $1 billion. So, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
It is. It's going to do well.
I know.
The Lion King's going to do ridiculously well, but I'm
Which is
not
so sad.
convinced about Aladdin.
I mean, if people enjoy it, then I don't want to stop them from enjoying it. But I feel like what's gonna happen.
They'd enjoy the original
that-
one more. That's 100%.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could watch the original. You might as well just re-release the original in theaters. I know that wouldn't do as well, but still.
They
what-
did that already, I believe.
I mean, they've done it a few times. They did that when the 3D thing came out. But what I'm concerned will happen is that it won't be a thing where like people watch it and everybody's like, you know what, that was pretty good. I feel like there's going to be a lot of people disappointed with it. I feel like people are going to go to that movie and be like, oh, what the fuck? This isn't the thing I love, like, and not realize that they could have seen that coming beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm concerned
There
about.
might be a backlash, but I don't know. Because all these Disney properties always do well, and the reviews are always good, and people always love them. Like Incredibles
not
2,
true.
which was bad. Well, what's an example you think?
Of Disney properties that people don't love? There was like
Well,
that
of Disney
Nutcracker
making a movie
one that came out
based on some
recently.
valuable property, and everyone doesn't jerk off over
The
it.
Nutcracker in the
Nutcracker
Four
one. No one
Realms.
cares
That's
about the
one.
Nutcracker.
Well, that's a property.
Nutcracker,
That,
no one cares
I mean,
about that.
exactly. People didn't.
People actually care about Lion King.
Yeah, I mean, the people. What? I mean, right now, Aladdin. It's clear that people aren't going to like that one.
Yeah.
It might still do well. Who
that much
knows?
is
Like
clear.
we don't know whether or not it's actually going to perform well.
Yeah, we'll see.
This seems like it's just going to be a never-ending source of annoyance. Who knows? Maybe they'll stop doing it at some point.
Oh yeah, they will.
They'll just keep doing it until they stop making money from it.
Yeah, exactly. Like we are voting with our wallets. I wish they wouldn't go so fucking hard, Like they obviously have a team that is determining what the most successful algorithms to make money with films is, right? But Disney, every time they've done it in the past, like, I don't know, 10 years, maybe even longer, they've just gone so fucking hard that they saturate the market and it just becomes spam. Like, how many fucking Star Wars movies do we need in a row? Like, to the point where all of a sudden Solo comes out, they're like, now now we'll cancel a few of them. Like, they wanted to do like one every fucking 6 months, you know, like, and it's only when one just underperforms a little that they're like, eh.
That's an example of them, like, people speaking with their wallets. I mean, they totally changed, like, what's happening with Star Wars now because Solo did so bad.
I don't think they understand that part of the reason why it didn't perform as well is because they're just spamming the movies.
That and Last Jedi wasn't very good, and Solo looked like shit. There's a lot of reasons, but
There's plenty of
that
reasons,
is definitely one of them.
It's all
That's
their
definitely
fault.
one of them. People were just sick of Star Wars in 3 years. People went from it made $2 billion and they loved it to I really can skip this one.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is nuts.
I know.
Nuts, but
It's
that's
all
what
their
happened.
fault.
So
They don't understand.
yeah, so they should fucking relax. But what's next? What's the next animated thing they're gonna remake?
I don't know. Song of the South?
Yeah, they're not gonna talk
Fantasia?
about that one.
Fantasia, yeah.
Fantasia.
Did I tell you
That's
guys
what they're
about
gonna
the,
do.
Live-action
the
Fantasia.
deleted scenes from Fantasia, the original? Did I ever have this conversation with
No.
you? Oh my god,
No.
go on
Not yet.
YouTube and look up like the Fantasia censored. Like you'll find a side-by-side comparison. It's like 7 minutes
Mhm.
long, 8 minutes long or whatever. Most of it is the same, but there's a good 2 minutes total where it shows how they removed an incredibly racist caricature. And you don't have to watch that
Ah.
right now, but I suggest everybody watch it. Fuck Disney.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
I think that they're a disgusting company, honestly. Because, like, I kind of want to rant about this just for a tiny bit. There's this terrible attitude that they have when it comes to their older films. Like, if there's any kind of objectionable content, whether it be, like, you know, racism is a big example, or even just, like, they
Yeah.
think that something's a little mistake. Like, even in the Lion King DVD, there's things that they touched up and you can no longer access what is essentially the original film. Remember, there was like Simba lays down and the dust cloud comes out, and like somebody said it spelled out the word sex in the stars. Like they just threw a bunch more stars over that, or like more dust over that.
Yeah.
They're constantly like George Lucasing their films. And what pisses me off about it is when it comes to products of their time, like, okay, this was what Fantasia was 1940, 1941 or something, and there was an incredibly racist caricature. Don't pretend it didn't happen, because that's more fucking racist. You know?
Well, what else are they gonna do?
Well, here's what Warner Brothers did. If you buy the Looney Tunes Platinum Collection on Blu-ray, the entire thing, when you put the disc in, it is prefaced by a message from Warner Brothers saying, hey, there's objectionable content in here. It's a product of its time. It does not reflect our views currently. And I'm
Yeah.
paraphrasing here, but they literally say it would be a worse crime to pretend that this never happened. Like, this is a product of history. And I agree with
Yeah.
that so much. You don't have to pretend it never happened. And this is part of why I hate Disney. It's just like
Mhm.
they're such a slimy fucking company. Anyway, that was my little
Yeah.
rant. I'm
I
sorry.
just saw a clip of it. Yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah. And it's worse because they tried to pretend it doesn't happen. They're like, we'll release the same movie, but it was never like this. You know, even just have the option on your DVD or Blu-ray to view the original, but just give it a warning or something. But of course they wouldn't do that because they're fucking Disney. They're a disgusting company.
Yeah, they have that. Yeah, they want everyone to think they're harmless and cutesy and have never done anything wrong. And look, we're Mickey Mouse.
It's all image. It's all a fucking facade. It's a big fucking
It's
lie.
not surprising.
Yeah, they've done a lot of bad stuff.
The type of shit
that
they
we
pull.
could get into.
Especially when it comes to like copyright law. You know, like they're responsible for a
Copyright
lot of the
law.
mess we're in right now, which is totally fucking hypocritical too, because all of their properties, when they were starting out, like
Yeah.
are all folklore that were public domain, and now they're like, uh-oh, we don't
Now
want
they own
any,
them all.
we don't want any of our products to enter the public domain. Let's keep extending copyright law. It used to be like until the artist's death. Now it's like fucking 100 years after
Artist
the artist's
plus
death. Like,
90 years.
yeah, I mean, it used to only be like 20 years total. But Disney
yeah,
just
they
kept
keep
fucking
extending
with
it. Every, like, right when the deadline's coming around, they
Yeah.
extend it more.
Excuse me, lawyers.
Soon it's going to be artist plus 200 years. Artist death plus 200 years.
Yeah, like it's so ridiculous, and it's so hypocritical and slimy because that's how they made their empire. And now they're like, nope, nobody else. We don't want anybody else using anything that's public domain. We don't want any of our properties to become public domain. Fuck off. Like, what are you doing to art? It's no longer art anymore. You're just trying to turn it into a factory fucking product. I'm mad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
It's just what happens when a company gets so powerful.
Yeah. I hope it just collapses soon. And
What do you mean? Disney as a company? They have way too much money. They're literally too big to fail at this point.
Yeah,
They're not
I
gonna
can't see
collapse.
it.
We'll find a way. We'll do like Fight Club.
Mickey Mouse's Fight Club. Ha ha!
Yeah, Mickey Mouse.
Punch you in the face. Ha ha! All right. Another topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Enough
So,
of this.
uh,
What was that news story that
Oh.
just happened?
That
you
yeah,
wanted to
that's
tell
the
us
one that's
about.
like 2 hours old. It's related to the Oscars.
Yeah.
So I'm sure
Oh,
you've been
great.
keeping up.
With that shit show? Yeah.
Yeah, first the Oscars wanted the popular film category. People freaked out. They were like, "Oops, sorry,
I think Kevin
please,
Hart got booted off.
please watch our programming. Sorry, we didn't do anything." And then they had Kevin Hart to host, and then people got mad. They're like, "Oh, sorry," and they flogged themselves a few times, and then they said, "Well, you know what? We're gonna trim down our fucking programming because nobody's watching. So we need to do something to make sure that people watch next year. Let's only have 2 of the original songs that were nominated perform live at the Oscar." And then Lady Gaga freaked out, and then everybody started getting mad. They're like, "Oh, sorry, whoosh," flogging themselves again. And then the newest one,
Now
well,
they
I
have
guess
more ads, right?
second newest one now was they wanted to have the like 4 of the categories being announced over commercial break, because apparently some of the categories aren't important enough to them, like cinematography, editing.
and editing.
Yeah. And then it was what? Costume design, and then documentary short or live action short? I think it was live action short. But either way,
Yeah.
I like I'm glad that they were stupid enough to try and do that with editing and cinematography, because that really fucking pissed people off. You saw those tweets by like
Of course.
Guillermo and Alfonso.
Alfonso Cuarón. Yeah.
He's nominated for so many Oscars this year. Here he is shitting on them.
Yeah.
Great fucking job. I'm glad he stood
Like
up to
every
them.
big director shit on it. It was great.
Yeah, it's so insane. Like how quickly they've lost the respect of like not just the public, not just their viewership, but like the entire film community. Like Hollywood fucking
Yeah.
hates the Oscars now, and it's so
The
funny.
entire industry. Because it's been revealed that they have no idea what they're doing, and it's a big fucking rigged, stupid show.
Yeah.
What's the point anymore?
And you shouldn't take them seriously.
The newest one, somebody just posted this on our subreddit. This is like 2 hours old. IndieWire reports the Oscars won't have segments with everyday people because they don't get ratings.
Yeah. Well, because they're stupid. I'm glad they got rid of that at least.
It's funny. It's funny that they're just blatantly saying it. They could have just not done it.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not like that was Oscars
They
tradition
had to announce it. Yeah.
to like throw candy in a theater full of normies that were trying to watch A Wrinkle in Time. Like that wasn't a tradition.
Eat, peasants! Eat!
The Oscars is like trying to get people excited about their shitty awards show. And this is how they're doing it.
Yeah.
They're like, please be excited. Please clap. It's insane.
I wonder if this is actually going to help their viewership or not. Or what's
Are you guys
going to
gonna
happen
watch
this
it?
year.
I refuse to
I'm
watch
going
it,
to
but-
because I'm doing my commentary and I'm shitting on it.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
worried that I might be bringing, well, I don't know how powerful my YouTube presence is. I'm worried that I might be bringing other people to watch it, to watch my live stream commentary. But who knows?
Yeah, that's the thing.
I don't know.
I mean, it's insulting this year.
People might tune in, though.
Yeah. I think people want to see a shit show.
Yeah. People are
Yeah.
curious and they want to see, what all the fuss is about. So they might tune in for a little bit, but
Yeah.
it's so long, I guess they'll jump out 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know what they changed one other thing that they actually haven't gone back on. They
What's that?
removed the tradition of, or at least for this year, we'll see if they continue doing that. They removed the tradition of the previous year's winners announcing the awards for this year. And so Allison Janney, I think she was from I, Tonya, right? Is that who
Yes.
she is? Yeah, so she's like actually upset about it. She's publicly said that she's like heartbroken that she won't get to go to the Oscars and announce this year's winner.
So what are they doing instead then? Jimmy Fallon's going to come up and do it.
I think they're just
They
picking
have some
people
intern
themselves.
come out on the stage. Yeah.
They'll have a
Some
robot
intern.
do it. Robot come out and announce it. They might as well at this point.
Yeah,
Have
You have
like a Wall-E come
what's
out and do
Amazon Alexa comes out and fucking does it.
it.
bring on the
Yeah.
Star Wars robot again. That was so
Yeah.
funny when Jimmy
Stormtroopers
Kimmel
come out
did
and do
it.
it. Yeah.
Oh my god, what a disaster. That's really funny though. Do they just not want this to go well?
I think that they're all above the age of 65 and they have no idea what it's like not to be a rich asshole. And so this is just a byproduct of watching them make decisions. I think that's
Hey, we
what
don't
this
know
is.
the age of these people. Don't be an ageist.
Oh, yeah. They're totally not super old, Ralph. They're totally young people that
this
are
could be
connected.
new management coming in, and just changing all the rules. You don't know that.
Yeah, old people. They're definitely old, though.
Probably
It's-
safe to assume.
Perhaps it is a little ageist, but I think it's a little fucking accurate to suggest that the older you are, the less with the times you are. I mean, that's pretty much that's just how shit works.
Yeah. We should make our own awards show.
Yeah.
Why don't we just do that?
We'll
Yeah.
call it the 421 Awards. Direct competition.
Yeah, because we don't want
Yeah.
any trouble from Derek Savage.
Oh man. Speaking of which,
How's that going?
have you
Yeah,
seen
what's
his
happened
Twitter
this time?
account recently?
No.
He's like, so there's like a reporter from the Huffington Post that found some. So Cool Cat's been tweeting all sorts of weird political shit about like gun laws, and now he's like really pissed at that guy who allegedly hoaxed that hate crime on himself. It's looking like that's probably what happened. But like Cool Cat's getting weirdly political, and so there was a Huffington Post
Yeah.
reporter that just tweeted, "Fuck you, Cool Cat," or like "Fuck you, fascist," or something like that. And it started this weird feud between them where like Daddy Derek usually just blocks people, but he was responding to like every tweet.
Yeah, he has no idea how to respond to criticism.
Well, all of Cool Cat's tweets, and this it seems like it's still in character as he's doing this. All of Cool Cat's tweets were like,
Yeah.
they filled out the entire character length, and then the Huffington Post reporter guy would just come back with like, "You're dumb" or something, and then Cool Cat would just respond again, like with an entire block of text. Whereas this one guy is
So
just saying
funny.
like "fuck you," and it got to the point where on the Cool Cat Twitter account, he's literally calling on President Donald Trump to try and ban Huffington Post. I'm not kidding. He's like, he's tagged the president and saying we need to get rid of these fake news people.
Yeah. Mr. President, at real Donald Trump. This fake news at HuffPost reporter has been cursing at a kid's character, and now he wants to take you and me on. Let's everybody ban the Huffington Post fake news stations now.
Isn't that insane? It's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
He tweeted that at like all the news organizations, MSNBC, CNN.
Is this all he does now? He just sits on Twitter, just arguing
That's
with people.
fucking hilarious.
there was so much potential. If Daddy Derek had
In what
himself
way?
as organized as Neil Breen at this point, and just
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
a complete asshole to everybody,
Yeah, he could be rolling in it.
yeah, maybe he is rolling in it. He sells a lot of merch, or at least there's
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of merch options
I
available
think he
for him
spends
to
a
sell.
lot of money on drugs. I think he's a drug addict.
And guns, weapons.
Oh yeah, he loves
Yeah.
guns. That's for sure. He loves
Yeah,
weed
Guns.
And weed, yeah, guns
Yeah,
and weed.
guns and weed.
and Mama Cat.
Yeah. He's dressed in a Cool Cat suit, shooting guns, smoking
Yeah.
a joint.
But every time he comes up, I want to say, has he finally cracked? But there's just a new one every month, so I'm not even going to say it anymore. It's just, yep, this is just his permanent
Yeah,
state.
I think
at
you're
this point.
asking
It's
the
just
wrong
an endless
question.
mine.
I think he's been cracked this whole time.
Yeah, is anything ever going to happen about it, or is he just going to keep doing this for years and years? Because it has been bloody a long time that he's been doing this kind of thing now.
Yeah, I'm still waiting
Yeah.
for like a new film that isn't just a George Lucas version of the same movie he's been making the past 5 years. The one he's re-released now like 8 times. I'm just waiting for a new movie.
Yeah.
That's not the
Come on,
gun
Daddy
self-defense one. I want a new Cool Cat.
Yeah, get your act together, mate. Do it.
He's losing his mind.
Yeah.
He's gonna snap, like you said, Alex.
There's no snapping from there.
I don't. He might end up blowing up a hospital or something.
He's already in pieces, so I don't know how he could snap
Yeah.
anymore.
Where would the snap be? It doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. The snap happened before we were even here.
Yeah.
It's too late. But at least we got
Anyway.
some memes.
Do we want to talk about a movie?
Yeah, I guess so, don't we?
The movie?
Oh, are
B-movie.
we actually going to do it?
Well, I mean,
B-movies for another episode.
yeah, I guess we gotta talk about.
So we got another controversial trilogy to talk about, like the Sam Raimi one. I guess we do it in order because Ralph, you watched the entire trilogy for some reason.
Yeah, for some reason.
Yeah.
Even though
And the
it's
Penguins
recommended
movie.
Yeah, you
against.
watched the quad trilogy.
Why
And the
fuck?
Penguins movie.
Jesus. All right. Well, you can be the
Okay.
expert here. I guess Alex, you've seen them all too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ralph, you start with the first movie. Give us make us understand the first movie and why it's
Oh, the synopsis
what it is.
of Madagascar 1.
Yeah, give us just catch us all up.
spoilers. Yeah, spoilers.
Spoilers.
So
Yeah.
there's a lion named Alex,
Mm.
and he has a friend who's a hippo and a giraffe
Yeah.
and a
And
zebra.
a zebra. Yeah.
And he wants to be out in the wild. He wants to get out of the zoo, And so they escape
The zebra
and
does, yeah.
accidentally get on a ship that sends them to the island of Madagascar.
Oh.
And there they meet a bunch of crazy characters. There's a few penguins. There's a lemur
King Julian.
played by Sacha Baron
Yep.
Cohen, King Julian. And yeah, from there it's just stupidity. What do we think of Madagascar 1?
What do you remember, Adam, about it? I remember the last thing you said was
Honestly,
you remember hating
I
it.
think I fucking repressed it. I honestly think I remember that the grandma was in the original, right? Like the old lady who just hates him for no reason.
No, I
no,
don't
she
think so.
wasn't.
Yeah,
Is
no,
there-
the grandma is in the first one.
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
she
she's
is.
in all of them. That's right. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
No,
Yeah,
she's not in the third one. Ralph, what the fuck? You've seen all. Like you're supposed to be the expert here.
She's
what
not-
do you want?
She's not in the third one.
No, she's in the second one. She's not in the third one?
No, she's not.
No,
She's not in the.
Okay.
She's in the first and the second one.
Yeah, the second one. Okay, I thought the third one is the one where the penguins run over her with the car. I'm sorry.
That's
That
the
was the
second
second one.
Yeah.
That was the second one.
I know. I know it's confusing. It's a very complicated timeline in these films.
Yeah. Yeah.
I honestly just fucking repressed it. There's no fucking way. I thought that the whole thing took place like in New York or something when I was trying to remember it, and then people looked it up
A lot
on
of the movie
Wikipedia. My
does.
friends looked it up on Wikipedia, and they were like, "No, they actually go to Madagascar." I'm like, "Oh, so that's why it's called Madagascar." So
Why would it be called Madagascar?
I don't know.
If
Just
it was
for
in
fun.
New York.
I don't know, why would it be called Madagascar when it's in Europe? Okay, like I don't know.
My issues with the first Madagascar are the film looks so bad now because
Yeah.
I think the story goes, and I was trying to find something on this, that Disney were making a really similar kind of concept movie called like
The Wild.
the Wild. That's it. Well, yeah. Where there's like a
I remember
lion
that
and a
movie.
giraffe and I think a koala and a bunch of stuff like that. And DreamWorks like somehow found out early about the idea and
Yeah.
copied it and put out Madagascar before it and then made loads of money and the Wild flopped.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Are you sure that I always thought that The Wild was like a ripoff of Madagascar, but you're telling me it's otherwise?
I think that I thought
So they pulled an
I could be
ants?
wrong on this, but I remember reading it somewhere that somehow DreamWorks like caught word of what was happening, or maybe someone was working at Disney and moved over to DreamWorks,
Yeah.
something like that.
Because
I
that
got a
happened
great
with
idea.
ants.
Yeah.
You might be confusing it with ants unless this happened. I mean, it could have happened multiple times. It is a
Yeah.
strategy.
Yeah, it could happen again. DreamWorks they're fucking bastards.
Yeah,
No,
ants
don't
in a
say
bug's life.
So you're saying, Alex, this film was rushed
Yeah, a little bit.
to meet a deadline ahead of the Wild movie? Because the film definitely
Possibly.
feels that way. It feels
Yeah.
rushed. The animation has not held up.
For the
It
first
wasn't
one,
good
no.
when it came out either. It
No,
always
it
looked
wasn't
like
good.
shit.
But now, especially, it's really bad. And the character designs especially, and this is a problem with all of them, I
Yeah.
think. Maybe except the third one.
Oh, come
a little
on.
bit. But, like, the design of everything, I just fucking hate it. It all
Ugly.
looks bad.
Ugly.
It all looks ugly and blocky.
Disgusting.
And it's so, disgusting.
It's a fucking sad day when the characters are so poorly designed that it can't even be fucking fur bait. Can't even fucking be furry
Really?
bait. They look so
Wait,
fucking
are we
disgusting.
talking about the entire trilogy right now, or just the first one?
We're talking about the main cast of characters at least.
I'm saying especially the first one. The
Yeah.
first
In
one
the
has
first
the
one,
worst
yeah.
animation.
They look repulsive, and it looks like it's animated at like 15 frames a second. It's very odd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Just the character design alone is just like, why? Like, who the fuck did that? Now they're stuck with it. Like, if they keep making Madagascar movies, they have to have the same character design for the original characters. And it all looks so fucking gross.
The giraffe is fucking gross looking. What's his name?
Yeah.
Marlin? Marlin? That's the thing,
Melman.
too. The-
Melman. It's the
Melman.
weirdest fucking
His name
name.
is stupid.
Melman.
Melman, and then his friend is Marty. So I'm like, you have two characters with the same like first letter in their name. Like that's something you're not supposed to do when you're writing a story.
Oh, it's easy. Melman and Martin? No, Marty.
Marty. Yeah, Melman. It's easy. We can't even fucking remember their names.
I remember Melman's name because it was so stupid.
Yeah, and I hated the design of
You just
him. I hated
insulted
the
all the
design of
Melmans.
Gloria.
Yeah.
Why?
There was something redeemable about the Penguin movie. Is that the penguins are probably the best designed out of all of them because they're so simple.
Out of the
And,
original
like the animation
characters,
in
yeah.
that movie was okay. Yeah, but like, oh god, the Marty and Marwin or whatever the fuck his name is, and Gloria, they looked so bad.
Why did they look bad though? I don't understand.
They're
They're just
blocky.
blocky, and
But
their
why is that
proportions
bad?
were so weird. Whatever, Merlin's fucking face was weird. They
It's
kept having
unappealing.
close-ups on like Gloria's ass and like showing off Gloria's ass and how big it was. I'm like, this is fucking weird. Why are you showing me this? It's a children's film. It was so fucking weird. Like, who the fuck spent so much time rendering this hippo's ass?
Well, furries are everywhere. That might have happened, but especially in the tech industry and animation.
Yeah. What do you know?
Yeah, it's just lazy character design, and I think the reason why it's so blocky, I think it was just to save money, honestly, because like when you look
Yeah.
at like a lion's mane, it's so much more work to have the hairs be either flowing or for the mane to look realistic, and I just don't think they wanted to put that much effort and money into the animation, so they just had it be one big shaved block, one big fro
Yeah.
or something.
See, I quite like some of the designs of the characters.
Oh no, you don't.
Which ones?
No, I do.
You do?
Which
I
ones?
like the weird blockiness and like their nostrils being that weird. Looks like plastic or something.
Yeah,
I don't like that. I don't.
I
like
hate
that.
it.
I'm sorry.
It's gross.
Yeah.
It's visually
I think it's
unappealing in the
gross.
same way that like Disney's new films are.
Mm-hmm. No, in a different
what
way.
do you
Even
mean?
as a kid, I did not like the design of these movies. I always thought the animation was just
Yeah, me too.
lazy and kind of uncomfortable. Like they went one step beyond being lazy and actually like kind of made me go like, ugh, this is kind of Uncanny Valley.
Uncanny Valley.
Yeah. Fucking
I'm not sure
Merlin's
that's
neck.
the word I would use, but
His fucking
He's
head
not-
would
he's
like
not a
fly
wizard.
around all the time.
He's not a fucking wizard, he's a
I was like,
giraffe.
fucking, oh my god. It was like a nightmare. It's like a David Lynch film.
yeah,
Well, yeah, the first one's really bad. Okay.
yeah.
I've
Okay,
always
yes.
hated the first one. I remember when it came out and I watched it on DVD and was like, "This, I really dislike this film and it's annoying and I want it to go away."
Okay. All right.
So, you haven't even seen the first one, Adam. So
But I
Well, you did a
think
long
I
time
did.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you give the first one, Alex?
like a 1.
Yeah, that's what I'd give
A 1
it to.
star,
me
probably.
too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
star.
From memory.
Yeah.
I mean, mine's 1 out of 10.
But yeah, moving on to let's just morph into the real cream of the crop. Actually, no, I changed my mind earlier, but no, not quite. Listen,
Yeah.
Madagascar 2 Escape. No, I couldn't figure out what the actual title is. Is it Madagascar Escape to Africa?
I think so.
With the 2 being
Let's see what it says on
or is it just
IMDb.
Madagascar 2 Escape to Africa with the 2?
No, it's
being both.
It's Madagascar Escape to Africa.
Yeah, it's Madagascar
on
Escape to Africa.
Yeah, on IMDb.
Okay. So Madagascar 2 was
No, it's not Madagascar 2. It's Madagascar Escape to Africa.
Madagascar Escape to Africa, written by the Coen brothers.
Was it?
One of the writers on it is something Coen.
Oh,
wait,
Ethan.
It's not the Coen brothers.
Ethan Coen.
Ethan Coen.
Oh
yeah.
my
Ethan
god!
Coen.
I made that joke earlier for. There was another film that was coming out, and I had to do a double take on IMDb. Like, what the fuck? I think it was like the Sherlock. Oh yeah, Holmes and Watson. Ethan Coen.
And
Oh my god!
Written and directed by Ethan.
it's got the plot of Black Panther, but with better CGI. And that's Madagascar Escape from New York or whatever. Ralph, you loved this one, didn't you?
I mean, it's a little better. It's slightly better. It actually made me laugh, for one thing. Did it make you laugh? Yeah. Like some chuckles. They were like 5
I think this film
or 6
has some
chuckles.
hilarious jokes in it.
Oh, like what?
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Please do
like
share.
the plane scene. We need to talk about the plane scene, okay?
Yeah,
and
go
how
for it.
incredible it is. So
Sure.
the peak of that section, there's the penguins are trying to land, right? And the penguin says something along the lines of, wiggle the control stick as if you're smooching your sister, and then he like slams down really hard, and it's like an incest joke.
Oh.
Do you miss that?
Mm-hmm.
I guess so.
like that.
I guess I fucking missed it.
No,
was
you missed
having
like
too
one of the
much
best
fun.
jokes in the whole series.
Okay, great. I'll make sure to watch it again for that joke.
Yeah, it's a
come
very
back to
dense film. You have to see it many times.
Did you like the sort of New York slant they all have, especially in the second one with the like tourists that are there, and they all start they get stranded or whatever? Did that
What about
speech rile you up, Ralph?
Did that speak to me?
Yeah, did it rile you up?
Not really. No. I mean, they were New Yorkers, but that was it. Like, I had no connection to
But they're
them.
your people.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, my people.
Oh yeah, that was another thing that annoyed me about the first one was the New York jokes all the time, like with all the sports teams and
Yeah.
stuff. I was like, I have no point of reference for this. At least when they're in
Right.
Africa, it's like there's just dumb jokes around other stupid shit.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I don't know with this movie. I don't know what to say.
I hated it. I fucking hated it. I did not enjoy it at all.
I mean, I didn't like it either. I thought it was bad, but I will acknowledge that it's better than 3 and 1.
I disagree
better
with
than
you.
3?
I think 3 is the better
Yeah.
film, but we'll get into that, I guess.
Do you think 3's?
I think it was
that
a
fucking Katy Perry
refreshing-
song twice.
Well, we'll get into that film for sure, but let's try to judge this
I
on
always
its own
thought the
merits
second
first.
one was actually no. The debate within the Madagascar community is between 2 and 3. Which one?
There's a
which
community?
one is better?
Which
Do you have your own
there's a rabid
forums?
community.
Do you have conventions? Do you go to Madagascar conventions, Alex? Do you dress up as a lion?
Anyway, yeah.
No.
No, it's not like Alex the Lion really connects with me
Oh no.
because of his name.
he
Ben
does.
Stiller, I really. Oh God. Anyway, yeah.
Can't wait for the Alex fan art of you in a furry lion suit.
I would like to see fan art of the Sardonicast crew as Madagascar characters. I don't know who would be who.
I
It
would
might-
too.
I guess I would be
It
the
could end
zebra.
up being quite offensive, but I'm curious, Adam.
No,
you're a bi-
I don't know. I think
you're a
you'd
big,
be the giraffe.
No.
what, Adam or me?
Yeah. Well, Alex
Which
would
one?
be the lion. You'd be the
Okay.
giraffe.
Why would I be the giraffe?
I'd be Gloria.
Just because I'm
I
tall.
wanna be
Why'd you be
Gloria.
Glory? I reckon you'd be one of the penguins, Ralph.
Oh yeah? Okay, I'll be one of the
Yeah.
penguins. All right, I'll
Yeah.
take my answer back. I want to be one of the penguins.
No, but Adam, the Hans Zimmer did the music
I
for
know.
all 3 of the movies.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
wondering
music's fantastic.
what you thought of the music.
It wasn't great, especially in the second one. I think it was probably, well, I'm trying to. The music was more distractingly bad in the second one when it came to the score, and I think
Because
that's
of
because of
will.i.am.
yeah, exactly. Like he had his fucking hand in it.
Who also plays Moto Moto, the recently memed everywhere
Yeah.
around the internet character.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I found it like slightly kind of, clever that they kind of reprised the "I Like to Move It" song as an orchestral kind of.
They did it like twice.
you
I
thought
couldn't
that was
believe
smart.
Whenever,
that.
well, no, yeah, it's whenever the lemur's talking, so it's like his own theme music. I'm like, okay, that's kind of, it's a little subtle. You can watch it without
guess.
noticing it. I had to point it out to like my roommates, I guess, but who only watched the film with me out of pity, by the way,
Same here.
because I didn't want
Out
to be
of
alone.
pity.
And I said, misery loves company, and I bought them some food.
Oh, that's nice.
Did you notice the plot similarities with one of your favorite movies?
Yeah,
Adam?
it pissed me off. It really pissed me off. I did.
Which
It
film?
angered you, did it?
Well, Ralph, you haven't seen it. It's The Lion King.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
figured.
yeah. So those nuances wouldn't have struck you, would it?
No, not really. Is
About the
Moto
rise to
Moto like a
power.
direct take from Lion King?
No, there was no thick hippos in The Lion King, Ralph. There's they have Alec Baldwin's character is basically just a fucking knockoff Scar, It's like, I want to be in the royalty. I'm going to set you up sort of thing. They gave him like green eyes and everything too. He just looks like so much more of a douchebag. His voice is more annoying.
It was the
pretty
shittiest remake of Lion King you
Yeah.
could imagine. Just like horrible dialogue. It wasn't like dramatic. They were just like talking to each other like, oh, I'm gonna take over. No, you're not.
It was so boring and predictable. Like every single fucking
Yeah.
beat of the movie, I was calling out before it happened. I'm like, oh, he's gonna do musical theater instead of an actual battle, and then everybody's gonna think he's really weird. But then by the end of the movie, his dad's gonna realize that musical theater actually does come in handy in some unique situation where it saves their lives, and then he's
Yeah.
gonna be okay with it. Like, fuck off! It's so predictable and so formulated and so
The
boring.
plot,
I was so
the plot
bored.
is there. It's just there.
What plot?
It's not the focus. Yeah, what plot exactly? It's not the focus of the movie. The focus of the movie is mainly the jokes and
What
the
jokes?
characters. Right.
Oh,
There was, like,
and
one
that
joke
becomes
I
the
liked.
issue. If it was actually a funny film, it would.
There was one
be
joke
okay,
you
but
liked.
The sense
What
of
was it?
humor
What was it?
really.
I liked when his mama lion squished the firefly to turn out the light. I was like, that's kind of funny.
Yeah,
It's
that's a good one.
like a light switch. Ha ha ha. But the rest of it was just absolutely unbearable. Absolutely fucking infuriating, cringeworthy, upsetting.
Moto Moto. That scene was one of the worst scenes I've ever seen
I like them
in my
big.
life.
I like them chunky.
His introduction where he comes in and there's that custom
Yeah, when he
made
comes out of
will.i.am
like
song.
the lagoon or whatever, and then it's a close up on his ass as he's walking over to Gloria.
Yeah,
and then they
Like
play
it's
that
Fast
song.
and Furious or something. Yeah.
It was awful.
Okay,
Haha,
but did you
but-
miss the subtle nuances around what that whole relationship represented?
Yeah, what it represent.
Yes,
Yeah.
his relationship with Gloria and how through their relationship, Gloria learnt that there is more to attraction than just a physical, and you need to care about and have a connection with someone who has a personality, which he didn't.
What an important message for little kids.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I'm a
It's not the
small
worst message.
fucking baby. I'm so glad I've got the mind of a child. Otherwise, I might not have enjoyed this film.
There are three things that I mostly get out of this one and the third one. You want to know what they are?
Sure.
Number one was they straddle this weird line of being so embarrassing, like so incredibly embarrassing that I can't believe that it's ever been made, and like the fact that the filmmakers and like talented artists and people and writers, they came together, and like this is what they came up with. And then it's like it has this like fascinating thing going on where you can kind of tell how little of a fuck they give. And to me that can be really hilarious. And then every now and again there is a joke that's like either so out there and bizarre or so unfitting for like a kids movie that I find it to be just so incredibly hilarious. It's like, to me, it's like watching the UK Office or like Peep Show or something. That is, the humor comes from how just you can't believe what you're watching a lot of the time.
Yeah. There were definitely moments like that that made me laugh.
There's so much like really weird adult stuff going on. Like the penguins are always joking about like democracy, and there's like a weird thing going on with the apes and them forming like a trade union and really bizarre stuff like that.
Well, I mean, this is like DreamWorks after they made Shrek, right? And Shrek was a huge success. And part of the reason why it was a huge success is because it was one of the bigger films, animated films that came out that was technically for kids, but it had jokes in there for adults as well. So this is obviously them trying to emulate that as kind of a formula, but just doing such a much worse job at it. You know, like they're like, haha, we'll throw in some stuff that maybe the adults will laugh too. But they did such a fucking terrible job with it. I didn't think any of it was funny. I didn't, like it, whatever. It's fucking cute penguins. Haha, they act like mobsters. Teehee. Haha, butts. Like it's so infuriating, and just I can't enjoy it. I wish I could enjoy it.
I think you're right, Alex, that they didn't give a fuck, and I don't find as much enjoyment in it because it's just like, if you guys had given a fuck, you would have made a good movie, and it would have actually been funny. And like, I wouldn't sit here.
I love the idea of like they're trapped into this franchise now with like the first one. It's the first one kind of doomed the whole ship.
Why don't they fucking try and like
because it's like that. It's that Disney problem where it's like they create this franchise. The first one was relatively cheap. They make a ton of money off it, and then it's like, shit, we have this fucking awful idea for a movie, and we've got to make sequels to it. That's like our business. We got to do it. So then they scramble to come up with something to put together, and it's like,
right. And they could have put the money in and made a movie that was actually funny and clever. I mean, it doesn't have to be fucking Shakespeare, but actually write some funny jokes and be clever.
Nah.
And there was nothing about this movie that was that. There were moments in there, like you said, Alex, that I liked. Mainly the penguins made me laugh out of anything, but it was just so bad.
One thing that I found very like, oh boy, about it was how all the weird implications that come with the fact that it's set in like Africa. So it gives me flashbacks to have you guys ever seen the second Ace Ventura movie, like the comedy with the mask or whatever? But there's the whole plot is based around these like indigenous people. And Jim Carrey was like really frightened about the film coming out and thought it was going to get banned because he thought it was so like insulting to that kind of culture and whatever. And the fact they like set it in Africa, and they like they choose like Alex the Lion is voiced by Ben Stiller, right? The whitest guy ever born.
Yeah,
the whitest guy. But both of his parents are like voiced by black people because they realized, oh shit, this is like set in Africa. People might, I don't know, they might get offended or something if we have no actual like African voice actors or anything like that. And like the whole Gloria as well being like an obese hippo, and then the whole like community of them being like obese hippo people.
Yeah, and they just want to fuck. And like Marty has his thing going on where all of his race are all the exact same.
Yeah, where the
stereotype is
that was the most offensive thing to me. Like now you
Marty
could not
being
get away
like
with
a
shit like that.
stereotypical Jew who's like, oh, I'm a doctor now. My mama's gonna be so proud.
I can't say I was really like offended by anything. Like this is just fucking
but it was
dumb
just so
potty humor for kids sort of thing. I don't think it was, it's really difficult to try and take away any kind of like message from it.
Yeah, they put no thought into any of it and into the implications of what they were doing.
That's what makes it hilarious to me.
Yeah, and for you, that's what makes it funny, and I can see that.
The one thing that bothered me about Chris Rock being like every zebra is like there's no girls.
Yeah.
Are they all gay? What's up with that? There's no girl zebras.
And that could also be construed in a offensive way too. His whole story.
What's up with that?
What's up with that?
I'm not unique
I can't believe
anymore.
None of the professionals and business-minded people that go through so much testing, and they show all these things to audiences and they get so much feedback because they're spending so much money animating this shit. And not once any of that came up. That's all. not one flag, not one person watched it and was like, oh, yeah.
It was a different time too.
Well,
this was when did this come out?
2008. So
it's not that long ago.
Quite a long time ago.
And
now.
10 years ago.
Yeah, but
wasn't that long ago.
I mean,
over a decade ago.
It's a different time.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I agree with you
the
guys.
Film industry
on
was so much different.
It's just
what was popular.
I just think that most of the shit that appears in the movie is just whether the writers care or not. They're thinking it's for kids and kids are dumb, so we're just gonna have this dumb shit in the movie. You know, that's what the movie screams at every instance.
But if they gave that little of a fuck, why would there be all the weird adult jokes in there?
Because
Gloria
they threw
saying
those
she's
in too
tripping
for
and
adults,
stuff.
and even those aren't that well done.
So there's
they
something.
were funny. It was. I think they just didn't give a fuck. There were so many jokes in there that just devolved in a caca poo poo pee pee humor. It's like the most
butts.
juvenile. But
the penguin and the monkey man kissed. That's funny because they're boys, and boys and
it's
girls
so
should
over
kiss.
animated too.
And when two boys kiss, it's funny. Haha.
There's not an ounce of subtlety to the animation or to their facial expression. Everything's over the top. Everyone's running around and moving and jumping all the time, and it's just really annoying.
Did anybody catch the Twilight Zone reference?
Yeah, apparently there's one in the first and second one or something.
Yeah.
It's with the little creature voiced by Andy Richter on the plane. It's like a reference, isn't it? To
that was all right.
You actually like that?
Well, it's a reference.
I was sat there and I was laughing my ass off just picturing Adum. That was miserable out of his fucking mind watching certain moments.
Yeah.
There's that weird tonal shift at the beginning where it's really serious and kind of wants to get you emotionally involved, and then it cuts to the future when they're on a lift coming up, and it's a close up on all their asses, and then they sing "I like to move it" for 3 minutes straight.
Yeah, they're singing to that song. I like to move it. Haha, that's funny. Haha, they're shaking their butts. Teehee.
Do you like Sacha Baron Cohen in this movie? Or these movies?
No.
He's another thing where it's that accent that he does could be misconstrued as well. It's
sure,
nearly
but no one cares because it's him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
true.
always
But
offended.
it's just weird in a kids movie, you know? It's not like one of his projects.
That's true.
Yeah. So why did they get him?
Because he can do a funny accent. It's funny because he has a funny accent, and it's a boy that dresses up like a girl. Look, I'm a lady. Which one of you is attracted to me? Haha, funny line. Boys aren't supposed to dress up like girls. Haha, teehee. It's
do
not
loads of that kind of humor.
Yeah, I can't say I'm offended by it. It's just not funny. It's where's the fucking joke? You know, give me a joke in there.
DreamWorks in particular has this kind of staple of stories and cliches they love going to. The main one that's been in most of the big franchises is, right, we've got to make a sequel. What can the main character do? Because they've already had some kind of arc in the first one, so we've got to do something new. Oh, their parents weren't touched upon.
Yeah.
Let's have them be them finding one of their parents or finding some truth out about their parents.
Exactly. No stone
Kung
left
Fu Panda
unturned.
3 does it. How to Train Your Dragon 2 did it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And of
It's
course
lazy.
this movie did it too. Yeah, it's the formula they have, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the one animated cliche that annoys me in every goddamn movie is when there's some kind of forced conflict based around just it hitting that point in the script where it's okay, now there needs to be a low point, so they need to argue. And the one with Marty and Alex
Exactly.
in Madagascar 2 makes literally no sense.
Yeah.
That's all.
Super
How
fucking
could he ever
forced.
genuinely get angry at being mistaken for looking identical to the guy next to him, where the first part of Marty's story is that he does look the same as all the others, and that's like really hammered home. So then he gets upset that someone notices that too, and that's why they have an argument.
I can't believe you mistook me for somebody else that looks and sounds exactly like me.
But what was the point of that? Like, what was the social
Because that's
implications?
That's the point in the story, isn't it? Where there has to be a low point.
It's forced conflict.
That's the only actual reason.
It's just forced conflict, just as forced as they had the fucking witch doctor I'm gonna die giraffe thing. Like, that came out of fucking nowhere. That was pulled out of their ass.
But there could be like a subtext to that, but I don't even think they noticed it or cared. Like, they just wrote it in and fucking moved on.
I think for the Marty one, what they were going for was that, so what, there are loads of people that kind of, you might feel like you're not unique, but you are.
But there's no arc to that, is there? He never like proves himself as unique.
No. The resolution is that Alex the Lion notices that he has a bite mark on his butt, so he's able to tell who he is.
Oh.
Because that happened in the first movie.
Yeah.
So that's what he learns. And then they kind of make up and then go along.
Yeah.
And
what a moral.
And the Gloria Melman one is like I already covered what that one's supposed to mean. The Melman.
That one makes more
is,
sense though.
Yeah, that one actually, I guess, has some kind of
nice
moral.
Guy.
Yeah.
He's like an incel. Yeah. Melman's character is that he's an incel for most of the movie.
Why do girls always go for the chads? I'm such a nice guy.
The Moto Chads. So I'm glad you guys really enjoyed it. Sounds like you got a lot out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
The score, the themes of the movie, the jokes especially really connected with you guys. The animation too, and the character designs you really liked.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The performances. Did you like Ben Stiller?
No.
Mm-hmm.
That's not
Chris
the fucking
Rock was
voice I
great.
want to hear playing a fucking lion.
Who do you
He's a
want to
little
hear?
bitch.
Yeah, who do you want to hear?
Well, obviously
John
Jeremy Irons, obviously, but
Jeremy Irons.
Ben Stiller.
He's too scary to be Alex the Lion.
I know. Like the whole point is like, oh, he's theatrical. He's a fucking Broadway performer, but he's a lion. Haha. Like, come on. It's just so lazy and old.
It gets old after 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I rate this one a 2 out of 5.
I'm curious why you gave this one a whole star more than the first one.
Because it was slightly funnier. The animation was slightly better.
Yeah.
It was
The animation
better,
is much
than
better than
the
the first
third
one.
one. It was better than the third one, absolutely. I just wanted to make it clear that this one is better than the second, or better than the third and the first one.
I'm not convinced
In your
after
fucking
watching the third
opinion.
one again.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
What did you give it, Adam? I'm very curious what your
Rating
what
it
your
right now.
numerical score
Big
is.
fat 2 out of 10.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so like a 1 star in Letterboxd. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think it's incredibly
do
fair.
you want me to rate it fairly or out of my
I don't
sick
give a
enjoyment
shit.
of
Whatever
it?
you want.
You probably give it 5 stars, right?
Yeah. But if I was being like, if I was sat down and had to do it seriously, like really seriously, and had to think about it, maybe a 2 star with Ralph. Yeah, because the first one is like a 1 star to me because it's just it's just such a bad idea. So yeah, I clearly enjoy a lot more things about it than you, but yeah, I'm for some reason I'm not repulsed by it when I'm so easily repulsed by a lot of bad animated movies. Like I find the Illumination ones to be a lot more bland. It's
that was it. Like I didn't think this one was obnoxious like the third one and the first one are. And it wasn't as like distracting, the disgusting character designs in the second one as much as the first one for me. Maybe because I got used to it, but the first one definitely has Illumination vibes to it. Just that sleazy laziness, and,
like cheap, rushed.
Yeah, like this should be straight to DVD. Like if you didn't give a fuck, then why are you releasing this in a theater?
Okay, so move on to the third, Adam.
So basically, the second one was like so fucking painful that it made me really discouraged, and I was like kind of postponing as long as possible to watch the third. I was like, fuck, I guess I'm gonna have to watch it. And then when I watched the third, I was pleasantly surprised. I found it very refreshing. I was much more interested.
I think the third is easily the best one.
I think so too. I was actually thinking
disagree.
about how I was glad that during the end of the last podcast, I was like, okay, well, we can watch both. Because if it just stuck to two, that would have been just fucking awful. I wouldn't have had it. I would have not enjoyed myself at all. And I was actually like, honestly, watching the second one, I was like, I can't even believe that you would like choose that. I'm like, what do you fucking
Really?
see in it?
Really
Because like
upset
to me, it's like it feels like it's not really that special. Like the third one I can understand because it's so bonkers and so detached from reality and structure. Like it's all over the place. It's so crazy that I'm like, okay, I get this. I understand why you would recommend this. But the second one, it's just like bland, rehashed garbage, nothing. Like it's formulated and it feels like it could have been another movie, you know? It doesn't feel unique in that sense. Whereas the third one definitely feels unique, at least.
I'd been going back and forward, and some of my friends like watched 2 and 3 recently, and some of them were saying, yeah, 2 is much better, and the others were saying, yeah, 3 shit. And it's like, that's not
Depends
really
what you
helping me
want.
come up with a... Yeah. No, after watching... I watched them both today, so they were fresh. I think the 3 is significantly better. As you said, it's so bizarre. Like, it really is odd.
Yeah.
Like, they fully embraced the not giving a shit in terms of like that being their number one rule, and actually having fun with it. Yeah, they actually had fun with it. Is the difference compared to like the first one? Yeah, like especially the first like 20 minutes. That they're so, it's just so mad, and they just don't care about anything. And there's that. I really like that chase sequence with the woman, the like
the police detective woman,
Frances
McDormand.
McDormand.
She's like Frances McDormand.
Yeah, Frances McDormand.
Captain Dubois, that's her name. She's like this.
She was a fun character.
She's like running through walls and jumping off buildings, and there's this like
sniffing their fucking trail.
Like, yeah,
like
animated like an insect or something at points. They really just went full in, and they must have just told the animators, look, you know what you're working on. Just make this as visually interesting as possible, as you can. Let's think of something nuts we can do here. And yeah, I think that it does work in spades. And another thing I really like is like they weirdly acknowledge a few times, because a lot of the movie is based in this circus. Like the main thrust of the movie is they join a circus and they've got to impress the American producer, so then they can be sent over to New York, and they address multiple times in the movie how that plan makes no sense at all, like considering the context of why they're there, and it literally is just so they can have a circus sort of backdrop. But there's this really weird subplot with the tiger voiced by Bryan Cranston, who he's got PTSD basically from his weird circus act where he's got to jump through smaller and smaller rings, and it's like his story is like a typical circus kind of story you could see, where it's like, oh, I don't want to be in the circus anymore or do that risky act anymore because it once upon a time went wrong. Yeah. But they make what his act is so strange. Yeah. And like
it's bonkers.
It's just not. Yeah, it's completely nuts. It's not based in any kind of physical reality.
Exactly.
It's just so strange.
That's why I enjoyed it. Is because like this was like a step towards something like A Town Called Panic, where just funny things happen for no reason, and that's part of the joke, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's just
absurdity.
It doesn't take itself as seriously. Not to say that like the first two films are like serious films, but I think for what it's going for, it works much better when they don't even try to be grounded in reality, and they're like, "Yep, this is a crazy dumb kids movie. All this weird shit's gonna happen, but that's part of the charm." You know, like I actually didn't hate this one as much by far. I still didn't enjoy it overall. Like, it's still kind of bad, but it wasn't painful. It wasn't like an infuriating experience.
I thought it kind of was. I thought it kind of was painful.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
fascinating
thought,
that you
as a
throw the
whole,
second
I think
one.
the second one is funnier than this one. I think this one has maybe the worst jokes of all of them.
Really?
The
Worse than
Afro
the first one?
Circus thing was like horrible. That was painful. The Katy Perry, what is that? Firework is one of
Yeah.
her songs, and they kept playing it. They were like these long musical numbers of just
I
that.
despise the choice of that song specifically, but I kind of like the visuals that go along with it because again,
Yeah, it was
Yeah, I
trippy.
did.
it's not an
was
actual
weird.
circus act. It's
Yeah.
just it's just a bunch of crazy visuals.
Like, where the hell
based
am
on
I?
But
no
that's all
sort
the
of
movie
reality.
was.
What
It
the
was
fuck
just
are they
crazy
smoking?
visuals the entire time.
It was fun.
And then I got 10 minutes into the movie, and I'm like, okay, I would actually like something to happen and for there to be a story and for things to fucking make sense. And nothing did. So I didn't think it was that funny, and it was literally just nonsense for 90 minutes, and then it ended. And if you find that more entertaining,
Are you implying that the other films had like stories? Because they barely fucking do.
slightly more.
Not really. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
slightly more.
the story in
You know,
this one
not
was
re-
much more interesting. Honestly,
It was?
yeah, because I
don't
had
think so.
because it's not just recycled
I mean, the
garbage
story
that
in
I've
none of
seen a
them are
billion
interesting.
fucking
This is
times.
amazing.
You know, it's not recycled. Like the reason why
This
I hate
isn't
the
something
second
you've
one
seen
so
a billion
much.
times?
It's not. It's not. It was
It's
it was an
not?
actual. It was a unique experience. Like, sure, there's formulated
It was
aspects to it, and it's stupid. It's hella stupid. But like, it's not. The second film had nothing to offer in terms of any sort of new experience for me. It's just like this is the second movie is exactly
No.
how I would
Neither did
imagine
this.
a shitty kids movie to be, and it felt like it could have been something that wasn't Madagascar. Also,
Right.
You know, it could have
so
been
this
any
one
dumb
they just
shitty
completely
kids movie.
gave up, and they had no story, and they didn't do anything.
I wouldn't
They
say
just
no
said,
story.
let's
Story, though.
let's fucking
Yeah.
animate and do crazy shit for 90 minutes, and
It was
that was
fun.
it. And I didn't find any of it that funny. I found a lot of it obnoxious. I thought the characters were way more obnoxious in this one than they were in the second one.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
I think it has the bare essentials to make a story work in terms of there is some kind of pressure or threat that's kind of hunting them down and chasing them.
Yeah.
So there's some vague tension.
Oscar
the-
winner Frances
Yeah.
McDormand
There was that.
doing a really shitty accent.
So she's just hamming it up completely, which is quite
Yeah.
fun to watch.
She's the best part of this movie is
she?
that character. Yeah, I think so. I had a lot of fun with that character.
I found it so I always watch movies with subtitles. I'm not sure that I would understand what the fuck she was saying if I didn't have subtitles, especially if I were a kid. The way she
Really?
talked was so weird. It was like
any
incomprehensible
issue.
at points.
Yeah, I didn't really have an issue with that.
You know what's
No,
funny
I
though?
didn't.
The so I have the Blu-rays. I got the Blu-rays of the second and third film. The second film, the subtitles are completely inaccurate, pretty much the whole movie. On their like the official Blu-ray,
Really?
like a line would say something like, "When you're bigger, you'll grow up to be an alpha lion just like your daddy," and then the subtitle will say, instead of "just like your daddy," it'll say "just like me." And all I'm thinking is like, if there was a kid that was like learning how to read and using this movie, they'd be fucked. Because like pretty much every fucking 3 subtitles,
that bad?
the entire thing is just super inaccurate, and I don't know why.
Wow.
And that was on their official Blu-ray. The third one was completely accurate. The third one didn't have that issue.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, so that's the
I'm
second
going to
one.
consider
Just
that
the
into my
second one.
rating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the third one improved on a lot of things. You know, it was much more visually interesting. You know, it felt like they tried to make a much more unique experience. You know, they tried to make something much more, I guess, not like engaging from a conflict perspective, but engaging from an entertainment perspective, at least in my opinion. They very much improved on the character designs. Every
Yeah, I was
new
about to ask about
character
that.
that shows up in the film, it's like, hey, it's like kind of the same style, but not nearly as ugly, you know? Like even like the sea lion or whatever. Yeah, he has a dopey looking dumb face, but it's kind of like cute and endearing in a way. It's not like,
He
ew,
still looks
please
like
get
a,
away.
yeah,
It's
seal.
not like I want to crush it with my foot, being like, ew, kill it, you know? They very much improved on that. And it's really funny to see that in this film because the old character designs of the original characters are still there. And not only that, I don't know what kind of like setup you guys watched yours on, but like what I was watching the Blu-ray and it was like upscaled to 4K, like still 1080p native, but I noticed that like the original characters, like the four main cast members, they looked like they had lower quality textures than the new characters too. It's like they literally just like pulled them from the second film, didn't update their textures at all, and then just like put them into the new movie. Meanwhile, all the new characters have like updated, new current textures and models,
But I think that goes with everything to do with these main characters, is that in all of these films, they are the least interesting aspects of the movie. They're
kinda.
the worst designed.
They're
They're the
terrible.
worst written. They're not funny. Like everyone else is way more interesting than them. And we usually end up talking about other characters instead of them because they're so like dull and ugly and just weird.
Why do you think everyone attached themselves to the penguins and they got their own movie? That's usually
Because the penguins are funnier.
It's kind of like Despicable Me, where it's like the main characters in it are so uninteresting, and then they're like, oh, we don't even need them anymore. Let's just make a Minion movie then. That's what the people actually want. Let's just filter it down for them.
Yeah, this is way better than those. Gru is not that bad of a character though.
He's okay in the first one, I suppose.
Gru is better than any of these guys, but I think the Minions are way worse than the Penguins. Yeah, Despicable Me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch that ever. So I really don't like Minions.
Does anyone?
Well, yeah, their merchandise sales would imply that people love them.
That's true, yeah.
A lot of old people.
It's like
Here I am being ageist again.
Like
old people
really
love
young
Minions
not
for
old
some
people.
reason.
Young people love them.
No,
Young people
there's
love
both.
You have no
Minions.
idea.
Yes, young people.
No,
Old
I've
people
seen
love
so many-
What are you
Minions
talking
because they
about?
know young people love
I
Minions.
know old people love
It's-
them, but young people love them too.
No, like old
What do you think they're marketing Minions to old men? Come on.
No,
It's for
like
kids.
more like grandmas. It's like when they have like Minion Christmas decorations that grandmas can buy because they know that little babies love them, and they're like, I want the little babies to love me. It's like handing out candy all the time, It's like I'm gonna have Minions themed everything because I know the kids will love me. And you know what? There's honestly a lot of people that unironically think it's funny. Also, there's a lot of adults who unironically love the Minions humor.
I know. My grandparents love them.
Oh,
That's
well
a step
then
too far, even for me.
your grandparents love them.
they
I thought
love
you were
them.
contradicting that earlier. You said that old people don't love them. You just literally said your grandparents.
Oh
love
no,
them.
my grandparents love the Minions. But I'm
Then why were
saying
you-
they're not marketing Minions to old people. They're marketing it to kids, and then old people want kids
Oh.
to like them.
Well, yeah,
so
I
they
never.
they have
Okay,
Minion
I
stuff.
I don't really think we disagree then.
Yeah, we argued about nothing. Point of the day is that these Madagascar movies are fucking awful. I give this one 1 out of 5.
We're not
That's it.
seriously.
Fuck
done
you,
with-
Alex, for making me watch them.
There's not more to discuss about the third film.
No
I don't think I
Bombach
hated the
writing
third
the
one.
screenplay. I can't believe you hated it so much.
I did. I thought it was
in my
fucking
opinion,
nonsense.
it's the least hateable.
I thought
Honestly.
it was. That's why I hated it the most, because it was trying to be the least hateable. Oh, look at the Katy Perry music, and we're just gonna be stupid and have no story
but that-
and fucking
that
animate
Katy
a bunch
Perry
of
thing-
bullshit for 90 minutes. There was
That
nothing
Katy
to
Perry
it.
thing, it's a bad choice, but it's no different to the way they use I Like to Move It,
Yeah.
or Will I Am's music in the second one. It's like the same thing.
Wasn't I Like to Move It written for the movie?
No,
I don't think so. No.
No?
pretty sure that song existed in like
Really?
the 90s.
Yeah.
I
They
just
just
thought that.
adopted-
Well, again, I saw it when I was a kid. I thought they just came up
No.
with it. for
Yeah,
the
I think they've just kind of absorbed it.
But hey, you know
Yeah.
what? They owned it. They owned it. King
they
Julian
definitely own
fucking
that song
sang
now.
it. Yeah. And there was nothing like that in this one. It was so just thrown in.
Yeah, I can't say that like just those two Katy Perry moments where obviously it's like near the end of the movie. I can't say that that's like representative of the film as a whole. There was actually a music choice in this film that I was kind of impressed by. They had an Edith Piaf song, the Je ne regrette rien or whatever. That song
yeah.
is. Yeah, that was so weird.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is kind of interesting. It was a weird choice. It was I wasn't expecting that in a Madagascar film.
And there's that other very strange sort of subplot where what they choose to make King Julian do is be in like an abusive relationship with a circus bear.
Yeah. That's like just
Which again
basically
is just
like
so strange.
just taking advantage of like a mentally handicapped person, I guess.
Well, you probably could interpret it that way, I suppose.
Like I like how they took the whites out of the bear's eyes to be like, this one's not as anthropomorphic. This one doesn't understand
It's
English.
just an actual bear.
It's just a drooling idiot. That was weird.
My theory as to why this movie might be a bit better in terms of just overall everything is for some reason Noah Baumbach being credited as a on the screenplay.
Yeah.
Like I think what they would have done is they would have written a movie like identical to the first and second ones, and then he probably would have done a treatment on it, and just that amount of work probably made the difference in terms of I bet his idea was like the tiger's little subplot and just weird kind of out there stuff like that.
It was hilarious. I think it's funny that the whole conflict of the tiger accidentally lighting himself on fire. I looked it up. Apparently, extra virgin olive oil is not really flammable. I think what they meant to say was like grease. If they had like grease, if he greased himself up, then maybe that would have worked better. But I mean, he wasn't gonna douse himself in like gasoline or anything. So
maybe that could have been misconstrued as being like too sexual or something if he's like dousing himself in some kind of slippery.
What do you mean? He's already doing it with extra virgin olive oil.
Maybe it's just the language. I don't know how the like filtering works, and then maybe they did have that originally.
He was like bathing in fucking olive oil, so you could slip through a tiny hole.
Jesus, I suppose when you put it like that, they were, if you took those like sequences out of context and just showed them to someone and you told them like, this is a metaphor for something.
Yeah.
Here you go.
For
Tell
anal
me what you
vor.
think it is.
What's funny is there is anal vor in this film. The kid gets anally vored by the elephant.
Yeah.
That was fucked up.
That was really fucked up because
normally
in animated films,
like that.
normally they show like some kind of consequence, like the kid. Oh no, the kid's fine or whatever, but they never cut back to it.
No, they
just,
never cut back to that kid again.
He died.
A half hour after that happened, my friends are like, "What happened to that kid?" We never come back to him.
He's dead.
He's probably
There's
dead.
people that have died that way. Isn't that fucked up?
Oh, I kind of
by being sat on by elephants.
Yeah, like. Yeah, you look it up. It's fucked up, but there's people that have died that way.
You sort of deserve it for
Well, that's how that kid
a circus,
died.
though, don't you?
That was funny. That was probably the only laugh I got.
He had very powerful lungs and was able to make this elephant distressed by shooting popcorn at it through a straw from across the stadium.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this film debuted at the Cannes Film Festival.
I mean, so did the B movie.
Why?
So did like Cars 3.
Emoji Movie.
They're not in competition.
I don't think Emoji Movie did.
Surely not the Emoji Movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that uncommon. Fucking Star Wars Solo premiered at Cannes.
Yeah.
It's just not in competition.
Well, this movie has like a big European theme too, so that's probably why.
That's
they
true,
wanted
I suppose.
Yeah.
Do it
but it's like,
at Cannes.
is anyone actually going to that festival to seriously try and get an early scoop on Madagascar 3?
Sure,
maybe.
Why not? You meet some celebrities. Probably Chris Rock was there, and whoever the fuck the rest of these people are.
Ben Stiller, Jada Pinkett Smith, and what's his face? David Schwimmer.
Melman. Yeah.
Yeah, David Schwimmer.
I think Melman's like my least favorite character out of the 4. He's really annoying.
Why Melman?
He's annoying. I hate his voice.
I mean, all 4 of them are really unlikable.
They're all super annoying. I know it's tough to pick.
Yeah.
It is tough to pick which one is the most unlikable. Maybe they should combine them all into just one animal for the next one. Because this Madagascar 3 did insanely well. It's the highest grossing out of all of DreamWorks movies aside from the Shrek franchise.
Really? Okay, great.
Wow.
Just Madagascar 3, yeah. It made.
You know what? Gloria might be my least favorite, just because it's
I
like
think Gloria's mine.
Because in most of these movies, there's like a strong female character for like the girls to relate to, and that's nice. And this movie, it's like, okay, you just have this obnoxious, ugly, fucking annoying woman who wants to get sexed up all the time and is always talking about men. There's not a single scene where she's not talking about men or wanting to hook up with men or whatever the fuck in that second one,
I forgot to mention
especially.
that in Madagascar too.
It's
That's
really
quite a bit of a
bad.
yikes moment, yeah. The
Yeah,
one
it's
female
really-
character, and that's what she does. She's like, I might join the breeding program. Holy fuck, guys.
Yeah. That's what makes her the worst for me. Is that's really just wrong
Yeah,
and
I think-
offensive.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one. But yeah, I'm amazed they haven't made a new one since 2012.
considering
it
it
came
made
out,
a
and
lot of
that
money, I
much
guess.
money. I think they were it was scheduled for 2018, but
It'll happen.
I think DreamWorks they were bought by some company, weren't they? Bought by Universal or something. So I think they
Maybe.
rescheduled.
They made that
and-
Penguins movie too, and that didn't do all that well.
No, the Penguins movie kind of flopped in a
Oh.
way.
Yeah, so that's probably what made
anyway.
them stop. That didn't do too well.
Because they weren't
And I think
dancing
the
and
Penguins
shaking
movie's
their
probably
butts.
better than right, because it's a little too much for the kids to comprehend.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was probably better than the Madagascar movies,
You reckon?
all of them. Yeah, the Penguins movie.
I just find it really fascinating how Adam really hated the second one, but found something to like in the third one, and
Yeah.
Ralph kind of liked parts of the second one, but hated the third one in the same way Adam hated the second. That's really odd.
Yeah.
What is it about this series? Everyone has one where it's like, no, that one had some decent bits, and the other one is totally hopeless.
It's a very divisive series. But I don't like any of them. I want to make that clear. I think all of them are bad. I just like the second one slightly more.
Yeah.
Is that all we
It
have to
was,
say about Madagascar 3?
I guess so.
Sounds like it.
Um,
What's your rating?
my
Tell me your
rating.
rating, Adam.
It's a 4 out of 10. They
Okay, so a couple of stars more.
They improved the entertainment aspect for me. They improved the character design. You know, it's a lot more interesting for me.
Yeah, I'd probably give it maybe a 2.5 or a 3 star.
Oh,
Yeah, around the same, but you know the meme and everything. But yeah, it does improve in every way. I thought the pacing was way better. It's visually way more interesting. The second one is kind of flat in terms of how they kind of block everything and storyboard
Yeah.
everything.
Not a lot of
only
color either.
Yeah, the second one in particular had like really bland color palette, but the third one's it's just nutty, colorful, trippy at points, very odd and weird, and the kind of thing you wouldn't really expect. I think the second one, the second Madagascar 2 is exactly how it looks. You know, if you saw a trailer for that movie, you'd be like, yeah, I know everything about that.
exactly.
Movie
I've
just from the
called the
trailer.
whole fucking thing before it was even like 20 minutes through.
But Madagascar
Yeah, but
3,
at least
there-
it was
there are
something.
things-
It wasn't just fucking nonsense for 90 minutes, which is what the third one was.
I don't think it is complete nonsense though.
Yeah.
There is something holding it together.
I would rather have nonsense over nothing. The second movie was nothing.
And honestly,
I don't think it was nothing. It was just bland.
if I could have seen Madagascar 3 on some like big IMAX screen, it probably would have been, you know, quite entertaining in terms of like a visual sort of journey. So yeah, that's my justification anyway. What was yours, Ralph? Yours, what, 1?
Yeah, 1 out of 5 for Madagascar 3. I want a story to keep me going, and I want characters I give a fuck about, and that movie didn't give me any of that. And neither did 2, but at least 2 was funnier and not as obnoxious.
Didn't you give the Penguins movie a 1 though as well?
Did I? I watched that one, like, I think last week. Let's see. Anyway, yeah, that's the Madagascar trilogy. Good job, everybody.
You did it, Alex. You finally did it.
There it is. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad everyone can experience Madagascar 3, I guess, because we've kind of decided 2 has some questionable things. But you might find it funny. I've seen lots of comments from people that find it funny as fuck, and I still do find it so out there and weird and inappropriate that I get a lot of enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
There's a Christmas Madagascar movie called Merry Madagascar. Should we see that?
Merry Madagascar. That can be like extra credit for those really invested.
Yeah, for the hardcore
Yeah.
fans.
Exactly.
Want to get all the achievements.
We ready for some questions?
I guess
Yeah,
so.
let's do it.
Right. Okay, so if you want to leave your own questions for Sardonicast, go over to the Reddit, and there's a thread that Ralph will put at the top. We'll start this one with Moloko PLS. Who are some of your childhood character crushes?
Oh, fuck.
He asks.
God damn it.
I think most people wanted to know yours, Adam.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, this is an Adam
Oh,
question.
no. This is embarrassing, but fuck it.
Don't be embarrassed.
Well, yeah, that's the story of my fucking life, man. Yeah, I you can say childhood, but it's really like current day also. Scar from The Lion King. Number one crush for me.
That's why I always mention him.
Yeah, maybe.
It all makes sense now.
That's why you love Jeremy Irons.
Yeah. My second place is Garrus from Mass Effect, and I've recently realized that both of them have scars on their face, which is strange.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is a little fucking weird, but can't help it. No one controls their interests or desires, right? So.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say it's weird. It's not that
It's
short,
pretty
that
fucking
bizarre.
weird. Let's be
Well, I've
heard
honest.
weirder.
Like you're trying to be
Yeah, I've
nice.
heard weirder. Like
Oh, really?
everyone loves Garrus.
Yeah, I
No?
know.
Yeah. Ralph?
Mine? I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess Leela. Leela from Futurama.
Leela.
That's a good answer.
I
Yeah.
always preferred Amy in that out of that show.
Amy? No, I like
Yeah.
Leela's one eye. That was interesting.
That was the one thing that
It
was
was
like
otherworldly.
Yeah.
It adds a level of intrigue.
You fucking
Amy
freak.
was like, yeah, basic, whatever.
Gross, dude.
All right, lion boy.
Mine's like a really random one that I had a strange obsession with. The mum from The Iron Giant I really liked when I was younger.
What?
Don't know why. Yeah, really, really into that one for some reason. I was like obsessed with that movie. I watched it all the time.
Annie Hudges? Oh, Annie Hughes?
Is that her name?
Oh, yeah, she is kind of cute.
Did
I
you
can
just
see
Google
that.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to.
Oh, right,
I
okay.
haven't seen that movie in so long.
Okay.
Oh, really? That's got
Okay,
some nice
that's
character
not a bad
designs
choice.
in there.
That's pretty fucking normy, bruh.
Okay. What's like a weird one?
Oh, you have weird ones at your disposal too.
I'm just trying to think if there is one. Oh no, it's too normie. I'm too much of a normie. I'm sorry. Like,
Okay.
honestly, loads of those 90s, early 2000s animated movies, they had some really like suggestive and like sexual character designs. I don't know if
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
have ever seen like El Dorado. Have you seen that movie?
Road
That's
to
a
El
DreamWorks
Dorado?
movie. Speaking of,
Yeah.
yeah, The Road to El Dorado.
Yeah.
There's like the female character, the main character in it. She's like, the animators really had fun with her. You can tell. God.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's like an
Or,
implied like
Roger
BJ
Rabbit.
joke.
What's her
Roger
name?
Rabbit as
Jessica.
well. Yeah.
What's her name?
Or
Jessica
Jessica
fucking
Rabbit, yeah.
like Lola Bunny from Space Jam. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Alex,
Yeah.
check the Twitter chat for a sec when you get the
Okay.
chance. But yeah, she was very suggestive. Lola Rabbit. Is that her name?
Lola Bunny, I think.
Lola Bunny.
Oh
I'll
god.
save that for later.
That's funny.
I looked up Mom from Iron Giant. That's what came up.
Oh god.
Oh, there's like cosplay of her too.
Really?
God.
Oh, I'm
So
sure.
I'm not alone. I never went to that level.
There's a huge
So-
community.
Honestly, when you're that age, if there's something you like, I mean, you just attach yourself to everything. I remember I really liked in that Teen Titans show. I like loved Starfire. I was in love with Starfire. How sad is that?
Yeah.
So sad, brah. So sad.
I'm sorry. Don't call me a normie again, please.
It's fine.
Okay, let's do a serious one.
All right.
Notam D asks, in an age of important movies, What's a movie you think people need to see? As in a movie you urge people to watch because it carries some sort of political or social message or portrays an important lesson in philosophy, identity, psychology, etc.
The Holy Mountain.
It's quite a big one. Yeah, do one that's not The Holy Mountain.
Fuck.
Yeah, I would
Even
pick
though
a
that is a
movie
really
like
good
some,
that is a really good answer.
some historical relevance is what I would pick. Like I would pick
Really?
Schindler's List or
I mean,
United
philosophy was
93.
in the question.
Philosophy.
Why isn't Holy Mountain a part
Well,
of that?
I think history
no,
is a big part of philosophy. Like a lot of what happened in the world already kind of shapes your philosophy, and I think making a powerful movie about a historical event is like the most like profound thing you could recommend to somebody. That's how I feel about it.
I think The Holy Mountain is a really good choice, though, because it kind of touches on
Yeah.
a bunch of them.
And-
I just wanted to
Yeah,
hear another
absolutely.
one.
Well, then Synecdoche,
talked
New
about it so
York.
much
I
as
mean,
well.
like, those are my favorite
Okay, yeah.
movies ever. And for, part of the reason why I love them so much is because it encourages introspection and self-reflection. And I think that those are very important things to be doing. Like, it's important to be self-critical and question yourself, question your mind. Like, these are all
Yeah.
values
Yeah.
that I hold really highly. And not, they're great films regardless, but in terms of, I guess, message and philosophy, which, like, the question was asking about, right? Like, those would be at the top for sure.
Yeah, that is a good one. For me, I would choose, if we're talking about sort of identity and social messages, I really like American Beauty for that. I think that you can get a lot from that movie in terms of like the American dream and your hopes and everything like that.
But Kevin
It does a
Spacey's
good job
in
of
it.
just.
Yeah, it's a documentary.
I rewatched it. Yeah, it is. It is very odd the kind of parallels with his real life.
Yeah.
When I rewatched it like a month or two ago, but I didn't find it that distracting. Whereas I rewatched Seven and I found it kind of distracting in that movie for some reason, but not as much in American Beauty. Don't know why. Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
Can't explain it.
Yeah, Schindler's List is mine. That's what I'd go for.
Nice.
Okay.
Moral of the story: don't kill Jews. It's bad.
Well,
Oh my God,
there's
yeah.
more to it than that. But
I know.
No, that is a great movie. A great pick there.
Yeah.
Ken199 asks, what movie made you depressed for a long time, if any?
Ooh,
Dear Zachary.
same answers. Dear Zachary.
The same answers, yeah. I have one that kind of left me quite disturbed for a while. It was Nocturnal Animals. I really liked the
Nice.
movie, but it did kind of upset me quite a lot, which means
Yeah.
it did leave quite an impression.
That's
yeah.
an upsetting one.
And
No,
that's
it was a
a
great
good
movie.
one because of just the setup of the movie. The thing that is so disturbing kind of didn't actually happen, but it's still so effective. People
Yeah.
who have seen it will understand what I mean, but
Yeah,
that's
I don't
a
want
really
to spoil
unique
it,
one.
but
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I totally get what you're
Great
saying.
movie.
I need
You
to
should all
rewatch that for
totally
sure.
watch that. Absolutely, I do too now. Now that you mention it.
Yeah, I want to see it again as well. Did you have any others?
I just had one, but I forgot it.
You've actually scared me with this Dear Zachary thing, because you bring it up whenever it's like, yeah, if you want to be miserable.
You guys have
watch
neither of you
this.
seen it, by the way?
No, I'm scared of
Oh,
watching
fuck.
it. It's been on my watch list for ages.
Oh no.
I'm scared
It's
of
like
it.
I don't know. Like I could recommend it, but then would it just be a fucking sad podcast? Like what?
What would we even
would it
talk
like
about? Yeah.
destroy all the entertainment? Would
This
we
part
no
was
longer be
sad.
joking the
kinda
entire
feel,
fucking
I kind of
episode?
feel like I would.
Yeah, like
But you
I mean,
do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I have something that upset me for a while. It's a TV show, season 3 of Game of Thrones, episode 9. It's an episode called "The Reigns of Castamere." That's what got me. I can't say what happens because that's a spoiler, but that shit made me be in a bad mood for like a week. So, yeah, that's
I'm
a
trying to
good one.
remember.
The Red Wedding. The Red Wedding.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a good one. So, yeah, that's pretty
That's a
fucked
brutal
up.
scene.
Yeah, that is really brutal.
That's an awful scene.
Game of Thrones actually gave me that feeling quite a lot.
A few times.
Yeah,
End of season
quite
1.
consistently.
End of season 6. Fucking hell. So much. It's a great show. Anyway.
Crabbins XD asks, what's the worst sentence of dialogue in cinema history? What pops into your head?
The Bat credit card.
back credit card. Yeah, it's very corny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some of the dialogue from Unfriended. The glitch just typed. And
Dude, this is dark web.
what is a troll?
Anything to do with dark web, yeah.
Yeah, dude, this is dark web. There's like the movie Nerve. Or wait, no, it wasn't Nerve. It was
Yeah. Oh my god, I got
it was what's it called? Wish Upon. You dig on multiverses? Or like when
That's
she
an awful
when she
one.
calls the character like
Jesus.
her bully, she's like, "You're just like smegma," and then she reads the
Yeah.
dictionary definition of smegma.
Oh,
She
man.
says you are smegma.
Yeah, you're smegma.
Like, that doesn't make sense. I'm changing my answer to it ain't no easy grab, but they got T.
Nice.
That's obviously the answer. That's obviously my answer. That line is awful.
Father.
Mine would be. It might be an easy low blow, but there's a certain line in Attack of the Clones that Jar Jar says. It's just 2 words. He's going to like present in front of all of the like the whole political zone of the whole world or whatever the whole universe or however that works. But he says "Dello Feligates" instead of "fellow delegates."
Oh no.
Deno
just like-
Fennegates.
It's one of those lines that
Great
people don't really
impression.
talk about for some reason, and it's like, Jesus Christ, George Lucas, and it's in like the scene where that like triggers such a huge, expansive change in the whole universe, and that's how he starts it. Great, Jesus. And speaking of all that like dark web
George.
stuff, I watched the like new Wreck-It Ralph recently, and that has some really bad dialogue. It was almost like Emoji Movie tier.
Did you watch
Like
it all the way
That's what it
through?
looks like.
Let's go to eBay. I love eBay. Oh my god, it was so embarrassing.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Hmm.
It was way worse than it even looked to me.
Yeah, that's the
Couldn't believe
only Oscar-nominated animated feature this year that I haven't seen yet, and I don't think I'm gonna make it very far if I try.
It certainly
looks
doesn't
really
deserve
bad.
it, especially with the competition it has. It just does not deserve a nomination. It's insulting.
Yep.
I guess it's a Disney movie though.
Woo!
Okay. Thick Boy. Thick Boy 42069 shit. Really great name. If you could delete any movie from existence, what would it be? Actually get rid of one.
Actually, get rid of one.
Eradicate one. Like it just doesn't exist.
I'd say Twilight.
Twilight? What, like the whole series?
No, just keep the sequels.
Yeah, well, if I get rid of the first one. Yeah.
Ah, true,
The
yeah, the
they make the
knock-on
sequels,
effect,
but
I
not the
suppose.
first. No, because if I get rid of the first one, then there goes all of them. And then there goes the whole young adult novel craze that was going on. And then probably 50 Shades of Grey wouldn't get made. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
No, it wouldn't,
that's
would
for
it?
the
'Cause,
better.
yeah.
I'm happy with
That's-
that pick.
That's like an expansive web of choices
Yeah.
with that one choice. It eradicates so much shit.
Right. That's how you gotta think. Like if you got rid of let's say Lord of the Rings 1, you'd get rid of the Lord of the Rings movies, you'd get
All
rid
the
of
Hobbit movies.
fucking the Hobbit movies. Yeah.
I was less creative with my choice. I was just wanted to get rid of that Garbage Pail Kids movie.
That's a good
stand that.
choice.
That's an insulting film. And nothing in the world would be different if it didn't exist. So, yeah, that
It would be a
good one.
better world.
It
without
would factually be a better world.
I rewatched it recently. We shut it off 40 minutes in. It was unbearable. We got to the song.
Yeah, I don't know, because if I choose a movie that I really despise and am opinionated on, then I probably made a review on it, and then like what I wouldn't have been able to make my video, I guess. So I don't know, Madagascar 2, fuck it. Like I don't know.
No, why not do the
But there's
first one?
Madagascar. Madagascar is
Well, then we wouldn't get Madagascar 3.
Yeah, which you actually think is a little better.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you got to pick a series that's just like Transformers is a good one. I'd get rid of Transformers
Yeah.
if I could.
Because that would
Okay.
probably stop like the Ninja Turtle movies as well and all that
Yeah.
shit.
Those Battleship.
Yeah. You want to choose something that's not gonna, because some people do enjoy some of these movies, so it's like removing something that people really like. Whereas like no one genuinely loves the Garbage Pail Kids movie. That's what I mean by
That's
like
true.
not affecting anything. But I'm sure like a lot of 12-year-old girls were quite attached to Twilight when that came out. It might have.
Aw. Oh well.
You've ruined them. You've ruined their whole childhood.
They could find something else.
Yeah, they'll just
They can
watch
still read the books. The
Divergent.
Twilight books are still around. They'll read those.
I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so.
They'll make a Twilight TV show instead on the CW. That's where it would go. The CW.
We have a really interesting one, but I'm not sure if you guys want to talk about it or not. I don't know if I should edit this bit out just to check or not. If you guys are okay talking about it. It was just something to do with drugs and like drug experiences and how it affects like movies and stuff. It's like a little paragraph I was going to read, but
Sure.
yeah, I just wanted to check before going in. Yeah, just see what you think if I read it. So this one's from Litly CCE, who says, I remember that in one of the episodes, Adam said that he would like to have a segment on the podcast about drugs. What were your first drug experiences? What drugs have you done? And what are some insights you have on certain drugs in general? Are there any instances where taking substances altered how you perceived a film you had seen before sober? If so, what film and how did being under the influence change your perception of the film?
Should you guys go first?
I guess
because I'm gonna mine's gonna be a little fucking ramble, I guess. So.
Sure, I haven't done a lot. Alcohol and marijuana. That's about it.
Yeah, I'm the same. I've never gone further than that.
I did what's that thing? Salvia. I tried that once. I fucking hated that.
What's salvia?
Salvia
is like the most powerful natural hallucinogen, right? Something like that.
It lasts like 15 minutes or less, but
yeah, it was fucking horrifying.
Yeah,
they were like, I was like,
really?
There was a fucking like alien from another universe sitting next to me. I was like,
there's like rarely ever any good trips, but kids do it because it's funny, and in many places it's actually legal. Because I think like natives used it for like spirit journeys or something, and so there would be like weird implications if they banned it.
Right.
What was it called? Salvia.
Yeah, salvia.
Oh, right. I've never heard of that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll send you the rest of mine. You look up videos on the internet of guys having it, like rice, and there's like different levels of it too. So there's like 10x, and then there's 200x. 200x is like the most powerful one. You look up some of those.
Oh man, there's a lot of fucked up
Mexican
videos
magic
of people doing
mint.
salvia. There's the
out.
guy that like jumped out of his window and shit. My God,
Yeah.
there's a lot of
extreme,
fucked up shit. Yeah,
It's very extreme.
Oh, it's like a Mexican plant. That's probably why I haven't heard of it. I don't know if it
Yeah.
can make its way over here very easily.
Oh yeah, but yeah, that's it. It's never really altered. I never watch movies high unless I've seen the movie already, really, or it's like a really bad movie.
It can make movies that you don't like more enjoyable just because colors and
Yeah, absolutely.
swirling images and whatnot. Because you're not
That it can do.
You have a different capacity of thinking, so
Yeah, like watching 2001 high is a great experience. Because you really just feel like
that end segment almost seems like designed for it.
Yeah,
Didn't it
of
make a bunch
course.
of money from people like taking acid and going in and watching it?
Well, because it was in the theaters for like a year. And like
Yeah.
at first it wasn't doing too well, but then it started to get like more and more publicity because people started going there for that drug trip scene at the end.
That's crazy.
It was a huge like surge for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys go.
Alex, you've said everything you wanted to, or
I mean, I don't have any distinct examples where I can think of like either really liking or disliking a film. I watched Fantastic Planet while high, and that was very good as well.
Cool.
So
Yeah,
that one
me
worked.
too.
But it's
That's a
kind
good
of
one high.
yeah. It kind of enhances certain things about it. It makes it
anything with that kind of
scarier and
70s
weirder.
soundtrack is a good weed movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, go on, please.
Yeah, well, I can't say weed doesn't really do much for me anymore. It's I have to be like in the right mood, and usually if I'm gonna smoke any of it, it's like I'll already have had a few drinks or something. It's not. I don't really enjoy weed that much. I drink a lot of alcohol. And as for I guess everything else, I've pretty much done everything except like opiates. Like pretty much everything you can name except opiates.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, well,
Experiencing the world.
yeah. I mean, I have there's a lot of shit that I've gone through, and so I've been addicted to certain substances and quit, and a lot of it was like growing up, but yeah, I mean I don't know, like I guess the question was how it relates to film, but I guess to say what drugs I've done, it's just like I don't know, like
Yeah,
what drugs
but if you want to talk
haven't
about your
I
drug
done?
experiences, you can.
Yeah,
let's
that
just
was
talk
the
about
first half of the question.
Just talk about in general. Fuck the movies.
Well, I mean,
Talk
it's
about in general.
like me and drugs is like just me growing up super fucking depressed, and I was like addicted to cocaine at like 15 years old, and
Wow.
wrote a song about it,
Really?
and
Fucking hell.
and quit, and crystal meth was in there at one point, and a lot of bad shit, and yeah, it's I don't know, that like it feels as though like I'm pretty much done with all that stuff. Like I'm just sticking to alcohol, and right now I've also started to like get a lot of regular exercise too, and that's been helping out. And obviously my music, just expressing myself. But it's really, I don't know. It's like I'm trying not to turn this into like one big therapy session, because I am like open
No.
about myself, and I don't think that there's any conversation that people shouldn't have, but yeah, I mean, it's I did a lot of MDMA, like speed, and like I've done salvia before, I've done mushrooms, I've done LSD, yeah. Pretty much fucking everything except opiates, because I don't want to like overdose on fentanyl,
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Have
Opiates
you ever
are
tried
scary.
that?
Fentanyl? No. That's
Yeah,
considered an
Oh
opiate,
yeah,
right?
that's an opioid. Yeah, that's an opioid. sorry.
Opiate. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
What was it like getting over like cocaine? The addiction to that.
I
mean, I
think
can imagine. It's
something that I guess I realized, growing up, is that most people that are addicted to drugs like that, have a sense of gratification behind them, are mostly just people that are fucking depressed and are looking to escape life, And so I think it's really easy for people to, I guess, categorize drug addicts in a way where it's just like, oh, you're irresponsible, get a hold of your own life, and like, why would you ever do that to yourself? But in a lot of situations, the choice is like, either I'm gonna do something and maybe feel a bit happy for a momentary period, or I'm gonna kill myself, sort of thing, So like it's there's a lot of people out there where it's literally either that or suicide. And
there's no other choice.
Yeah, I mean, it's felt like that in quite a few different instances in my life, but it's part of what drives and motivates me as a person. It's part of why I work so hard, is to try and improve my situation, and trying, to get to a point where I don't hate myself, I guess. But it's I don't know, it's I don't know what else I can say about it. Like it was difficult quitting cocaine. It was more difficult quitting cigarettes, and now even on like nicotine, like I vape again too. Like I quit cigarettes for a while. Like part of it also with alcohol too is like how publicly available and socially acceptable certain drugs are. And those are the tougher ones to quit, in my opinion, because like cocaine, I just deleted my dealer's number, which, some people, I guess, have dealers that will like harass and call them, which is not a good situation. And I did wind up running into that guy a couple more times and buying again. But I was, I guess fortunate enough to be in a position where I could say, hey, this is replacing my life. I should probably do something else, So
Yeah.
A
Wow,
lot of
that's nuts.
a lot of fucking strange history in this individual you're talking to, I know, but I don't know. It's in my
No, I
music.
think it's really good that
interesting,
you're
though. Thank
that
you
you're
for
willing to
sharing.
talk about it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's good. It's helpful for all the people listening. I'm sure a lot of people will connect with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Most people know people who've been addicted to substances and whatnot. So
Yeah,
it's good
I
to
mean,
talk about instead of try to be ashamed of or whatever.
It never got to the point where I was like, I don't know, like missing work or stealing shit from people. It was just, like
Mhm.
it was I was using a lot of drugs a lot more frequently when I was younger because I
You
was
just do,
living
yeah.
at my parents and
Mhm.
like I didn't have like a regular job or anything or any responsibilities or
Yeah, that happens with a lot of young people. Like you're so depressed and you feel aimless and you don't know what you're doing with your life and you don't know who you are. So
Yeah.
you're fucking you console in drugs, and then those
Yeah.
just take over your whole life. That's usually what happens, and it
Yeah.
makes it worse. It doesn't make the problem better.
Yeah,
Anyway, not like I would know, but
I just
from what I have friends who've been through similar things.
yeah,
So.
it really depends on your situation and it
Yeah.
depends how much you're able to like get a hold of yourself also.
Hmm.
Cuz like I don't know, at this point like I don't need cocaine. I don't need to do it. I haven't done it in a while. Like I still like there's certain drugs that I'll try again socially, but there's no I guess constant need to medicate myself other than perhaps with alcohol right now, but that's, I'm not getting like shit-faced every day. I'm just, drinking. I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of like a compulsive thing than anything at this point. Just that nicotine. Yeah, any other questions you have about it? Because I'm not sure I'm really forming a
I don't know.
coherent linear.
I feel like I need to make
Yeah, I
a
don't
whole list
wanna-
of questions, but
Yeah, I don't want to like pry.
No, I
whatever.
mean like I'm comfortable talking about anything. So if you're
Cool.
genuinely curious about something, whether it's like about drug use or about furries or about whatever, like I've always felt like there's nothing that people shouldn't talk about. So
Yeah. Well, from like your perspective, do you think that a lot of like things you've tried have an unfair rap, or the kind of perception around them is completely wrong?
Yeah, I mean that's
misinformed?
everything. That's not just drugs, that's any life experience. Like unless you've gone through
Yeah.
it yourself, you really have no fucking idea. So,
Mhm.
I mean like whether it's like the attitudes or side effects or effects on your body or like
Mhm.
quitting or there's a whole handful of things when it comes to any drug or any experience in life where I think that
Yeah.
just like if you haven't done it you don't really know. And I'm not saying people should do it to find out because
Mhm.
I mean like most people if they do something like you try something like heroin or crystal meth and it's just like, oh well, you're fucking done, like it replaces your life. So just I
Yeah.
would suggest in general don't try those things. It's not a good idea.
we were talking about Madagascar fucking half
I
hour
was
ago.
going to make a joke about that. The contrast is quite funny. It's like gradually gone down. It was like whimsical Madagascar. Then it was what film makes you the most depressed, and then it's like
And
just
then
keeps going down. What's next?
Yeah,
What's the next question?
I don't know. It's everybody's a work in progress. Some people take longer to get out of holes than other people. Some people, need support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, do you want to do any more? Or I do
we
have
can
a
end
it
couple
here.
more if you want to do them. Or, I don't
Like
mind.
one more question?
I don't mind. I have, I think, 2 left.
Let's
Good.
do at
do
least one
two.
more. Change the
All right.
tone a bit.
Here's
Yeah.
moving on to sort of YouTube type things. Gaming Candy Bar asks, how do you guys use music in your videos without getting claimed? Most directed towards Ralph because he uses a large range of music in his videos. Because you do use like a really varied range of stuff in your videos in particular.
Yeah, I have a whole playlist of them. It's because it's in the background, and I change the pitch usually, and I change the speed, and I'm talking over it, so it never gets content ID claimed.
Yeah.
And I'll never get in any legal trouble for it because it's not going to be a replacement for the original at all.
Yeah.
Like it's fast, the pitch is different. It's like so beyond being like a market replacement for the original song.
Yeah.
So that's how I get away with it.
Yeah.
And sometimes there are legal troubles, like a review I made. Oh God, what the Black Panther video? That's a good one. The review I made of Black Panther, I used Celebration at the end as a joke, and they copyright claimed that one, and I just went, all right, I'll just leave it then. So they're collecting money off that video, and I'm not, but it's okay, whatever. I'll make money from other things.
Yeah,
that's my process. So
depends on how it's used.
Similar for you guys?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like same thing, you know, like if the volume's low and you're talking over it, like the way that Content ID detects it is, you know, essentially through waveforms, and you're adding to that, and when you're talking over it, it's impossible for the system to accurately match the waveforms as long as you're constantly talking over it at a higher volume anyway. And you know, if like fair use is interpretable, so you know, there's nothing that you can really point to saying this is or isn't fair use unless it really goes to court, because that's how it's decided. And when we're talking about something like, you know, online internet media where you're not really putting it behind a paywall, you're not selling it, it's like free content that people are donating for essentially. Like B, it's pretty fucking difficult to argue that it has any effect on the market of the original creator, because there's no way that someone can listen to somebody talking about a movie over top of a song and being like, yeah, I'll just listen to this instead of buying the song. If anything, it promotes the original material and it gets people interested.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You know, like every song I've ever used, you can search it up on YouTube. People will be like, oh, I'm so glad I found this song. Thanks, YMS, you know, like, so it's really difficult to argue that it has any kind of negative impact on the market. And I guess like
also now that the channels are so successful, people send me music to use in the videos too. So there's that whole element of it.
That's cool, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't even have to worry about copyright because they own it and they give me permission.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of, you know, having things more freely available for people to be transformative with. You know, like the internet is it's a remix culture, you know, like every meme, you know, is just like taking something and turning it into something else, right? And the more tools at your disposal, music being one of them, I think that it's beneficial towards art and expression and creativity. And so I would like to see less restrictions. I would like to see these types of things being more commonplace and pedestrian to the point where it's not even a question of whether or not it's fair use.
Yeah, it's kind of getting worse and worse on YouTube, though. Like now, somehow they're able to sometimes snag if you're doing like you're just singing the lyrics in the same sort of tempo as the original song, if you're doing like a parody or something. So it can be really extreme. So over the years, I've gradually just moved away and have sort of subscriptions to these websites that have music that you're allowed to use as much as you like in your videos and not have to worry about.
That's a great option too.
Yeah, because it was just too annoying when sometimes you do want to have sequences where there is no other audio and it's just music. It can it's quite a good tool, but if the music is going for more than like 4 seconds, then it will just snag it and that's your whole video gone. So I find that I can't work on a video for like weeks and then a 3-second segment is snagged because I used a song and then all that work's risky. Just wasted. Yeah.
Okay.
Bike Bents is going to finish us off with
Bike
pitch a
Bents.
movie. Pitch a movie that would make a lot of money. That's it, simple as. I've got one prepared if you guys want to think. So mine is using the power of Deadpool because he's like an ultimate moneymaker. And my idea is Deadpool going through all of the different Hollywood universes. So he sort of starts in Marvel and hangs out with Iron Man and all that. and then he kind of warps in or goes into another realm where there's like a Rock and Kevin Hart comedy, and then he just keeps going on into like Frozen, and then fights a Transformer, goes into Star Wars,
and then Deadpool walked in.
Just yeah, exactly, because I think a lot of his humor is kind of based around that sort of thing in the comics anyway, him like being out of place or whatever, so him jumping through universe, and you're kind of capturing I just looked at the list of the biggest, the movies that made the most money, so throw a bit of Avatar in there, a bit of Titanic, probably make a joke about all of it, be all self-referential, and you got yourself the biggest movie of all time.
Ralph?
Cool. Mine is a soft reboot of E.T. starring Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart. So E.T. returns, right? And then Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson find him, and it's the same movie again as E.T.
Or
except
Kevin
it's
Hart
Dwayne
is E.T.
Johnson and Kevin Hart.
Oh, that's sad.
That'll make tons of money.
Yeah, I get this is a little difficult, I guess. You could make like, I don't know, like there's easily you could just say like a property that has never had a film made about it before, like a Mass Effect movie or a Halo movie. Like those are popular franchises that, people would probably see a movie for.
Yeah.
Other than
it's
that,
too risky though, isn't it?
Is it? Mass Effect is
like,
such an expansive universe. It depends on how it's made. Like I'm talking about like a great movie. I'm talking about like if like Denis Villeneuve
if the
directed
movie's,
like
like,
Mass
incredible.
Effect or something.
Okay,
You know?
okay, yeah.
So,
But then he directed Blade Runner, and that film didn't make,
well,
the
because
most money,
Sony was
did it?
fucking stupid when they marketed it.
Yeah.
Like
How?
I don't know.
How do you... I mean, the movie was a 2.5 hour long, like, cerebral, brilliant science fiction film. Of course it didn't make money.
Okay, let's
That's what I
fucking
mean,
break
like,
Well,
them.
what was wrong with the marketing?
They didn't market it enough. They didn't put enough money behind it.
Oh. Yeah, I guess.
They really didn't.
Well, because people probably didn't want to see... They figured people didn't want to see it.
Exactly.
It's
It
too
was a
smart.
self-fulfilling prophecy. That's
Yeah.
what studios do. They're like, no one wants to see this. Let's not put as many trailers for it. So it's just
And then
it's
they're
like every
surprised
Wes
when it doesn't
Anderson
make
film
what
with
they
Fox
projected.
Searchlight. We could say like, okay, let's think about this for a second. We can make now that Groundhog Day is a genre and no longer a movie. Let's do a Groundhog Day style film starring Nicolas Cage playing every character. Bam.
Nice.
Like
People would see
Norbit,
that
yeah.
for the meme.
Why not? For the money.
Yeah.
You've got to just look at like the most money grubbing trends,
Like
in
superhero
Hollywood. So-
films, like I don't know. Make a fucking Pokemon movie for adults. Because the people that are going to watch Detective Pikachu are just people
That's
that
not
were
gonna do
fans
well.
of the original anyway.
You don't think it's going to do well?
Yeah, of course it's going to do well.
This new one's gonna do well. This
Yeah.
new
Oh,
Pokemon,
sorry, I thought you
but like
said it didn't, yeah.
an adult like
Like
Zack
an
Snyder
adult one.
Pokemon movie. That's not gonna
PG-13.
do
It
well.
doesn't have to be like
A
dark and gritty.
PG-13 Pokemon movie. I
Yeah,
don't know
fuck
how
yeah.
that's gonna do.
It would find its audience. There's quite a few of the Poke
Yeah.
fans from the 90s and whatnot.
I don't think there are any Pokemon fans under the age of 13 right now.
No.
So, like, I don't know. You could make something cool. Make fucking Alvin and the Chipmunks R-rated. They're fucking gangsters. they kill each other.
Deadpool's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, put Deadpool in it.
Lots of blood, gore, and violence.
So yeah, Fox owns Alvin and the Chipmunks and Deadpool. So
Yeah.
there you go.
They curb stomp
So it's
Simon.
quite likely.
It just turns into one of those like disgusting crushing fetish videos. he gets stomped by a woman in high heels. That'd make money for sure. No, it wouldn't. I don't know. Like, just remakes.
It's hard to
superhero
know what's gonna
movies,
make money.
Pre-existing properties. Like, if that's how if money is your only concern, then that's what you do, and that's why we see exactly what we see in movies right now. Right? Star
that's why
Wars,
movies suck.
superheroes, because they care about making money. They don't care about making art, and that's it. So,
But it's also that knock-on reactionary thing where it's like Marvel has something going, so then DC does it, and then other companies see with like the King Kong franchise thing that's going on
Yeah.
as well. Like
Oh,
they're all
man.
doing it. They all want it because they all want a slice, but they don't realize what they actually have to do to earn the money. So a lot of the time they just come out and flop horribly. Like there's this Hellboy reboot, there's the Men in Black one that's coming out as well. They both look terrible. People don't
The
want this
Mummy
shit
one
anymore.
did bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They were
The Mummy.
supposed to do a crossover between 21 Jump Street and Men in Black. That could have done well. Why didn't they do that? That was supposed
That
to
sounds
happen.
stupid as hell.
People wanted to see that.
Yeah,
Got canceled.
I guess.
maybe
Well, Will
Lord of
Smith
Miller
had to
didn't
play the
want write
genie
it.
instead. He was busy.
I don't think
Ugh.
Will Smith's in the new Men in Black either, though.
No, he's not.
Maybe it's not. It's Thor.
He'll
now,
be a
isn't it?
cameo. And
Whatever.
Is Tommy Lee Jones in it? Is he even alive anymore?
Just about. He's just clinging on.
He's Klingon.
He's a Klingon. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
Anyway,
all right,
I
that's
guess
it for questions.
it. We did it.
Cool.
There we go. We've done
Um,
it. We've answered the questions.
I guess I've got a movie to
Yay.
recommend.
Yeah, please do.
So I don't think you guys have seen this. I haven't seen it in a long fucking time. I think I've only actually seen it once, and I kind of want to watch it again. This is the first Dogma 95 film. This is directed by Thomas Vinterberg. It's called The Celebration or Festin. I don't think you
Cool.
guys have seen it, have you?
No, you haven't.
No.
You mentioned it before.
Cool. Yeah, I was deciding between a few, and then I just noticed this on my DVD shelf and changed my mind, and fuck it, I want to see it. So it'll be a nice break from the previous two recommendations we've had, Spider-Man and Madagascar.
Epic trilogies.
Yeah. As much as I could recommend another, like
Massive
popular
trilogy.
normie thing, I kind of want to get back to these
Normie.
obscure, like, indie, like, low-budget things. So,
Yeah, Alex, stop being a normie.
Sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
jeez.
I'm just
Such
here
a
for
normie.
representation, okay?
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for listening to this very special Madagascar-themed episode of Sardonicast. And if you want to support the show, $2 a month. We'll get you these episodes early on sardonicast.com. Sign up for premium. Also, patreon.com/sardonicast will get you the same thing. We also have merch. Is our merch link working again? Is it still broken?
Hell yeah. I don't know any
Do we
double
have
check.
merch right
That's
now?
you guys.
I'll
We'll
have
try to figure it out by
double
the
check.
time this
They
episode's-
did say it was going to be up like on that day, so
Oh,
hopefully.
okay.
Oh,
Well,
it might be up.
if we don't
by
have
the
merch
time
when
you're
you hear
listening
this,
to
we'll have merch sometime shortly after, I guess.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oops.
It's all
Thank
Alex's
you.
fault again.
Oh no.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.